And I think for you lot, it's like you lot made faith cool to a degree, innit? And people have seen your elevation, like from not being married to married, and it's just like stuff like that is like it's like raw, man.
Yeah. It's kind of how we grew up though, in terms of like having people that were like quote unquote cool.
That was faith. Yeah,
and it was like, alright, cool. Like this is just what we're like, innit? Because those are who we were brought up around, innit?
Yeah. That makes sense.
I remember when I was in college, and that's when I was starting to be like, you know what, fam, I want to try and take faith seriously, bro. I remember getting that, fam, why are you doing that? Or why are you going here from the older Christian, like those Christians in college? I was like, oh, I thought you were a Christian kind of thing. I was like, fam, that, because obviously my whole batch, my brethren was just my brethren.
Just gang,
Obviously there was like fashion show parties and that in college. Your college used to do, there was one of your college. I probably wanted to come to still.
I can't lie. My college did a fantastic job at doing the...
was it cultural day? Was it?
We had a culture day.
Culture day.
And we had a Valentine's Day dance thing,
Wait, what college you go?
St. Charles.
Oh, okay. As in SFX?
No, St. Charles.
St. Charles is in West.
West. Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah. Hey, the Valentine's Day
bro,
dance.
I wanted to sneak in. That's how. You know the ones where you see pictures from the year before.
Yeah.
And I was like, fam, something is running again. I think I shouted you.
I couldn't believe that we pulled that off still, because it was after college as well. So imagine we've gone college that day, we've gone back home obviously, and we come back for the Valentine's Day dance thing. Hey, the Valentine's Day dance thing, it was
what time was it that you went back?
Legendary, bro.
What time was it?
You love that kind of
I'm
stuff.
not sure still, but I think it finished at like 11, 12.
Oh, for real?
But in college though.
In college? What?
Like, pulling that off was a bit of a mad thing still.
Did you not use college? Like,
yeah, it was in college, bro. Oh, fair enough.
And the next day everyone came back in.
I can't remember what day it was. I can't remember if it was a Friday or if it was
okay.
I can't remember still.
Yeah.
But hey, that dance there, bro,
it's crazy.
Wonderful.
That's the thing, bro. I wanted to come to that. Still bare, but I would go to that stuff like that in CT. Like,
you lot had your thing. You have
CT was
like that.
Actually,
huh? You lot did the skanking thing. You lot had
funky,
the guy that was like recording and
yeah.
So
but
there was
no like parties though.
Nah, fair enough.
Do you get me? Like there was no parties. Like there was like
what in CTK?
Not in the not like them man will have events.
Yeah.
Our thing was more like Saturdays people have parties. Like we'll be getting to that Stockwell and that. We'll be getting to Croydon for parties. I remember there was one time, obviously I moved, so I lived far from my brethren. So we went to one party in deep, like Croydon. We got there and I think we took bus there or something like that. We're there on the party, got a bit. Do you get me? Just because we from that side. So they were like, cool, let's just bounce, whatever, man. So we've left now. My brethren have got bus and they've got off the bus at 25 minutes, 30 minutes later. In fact, my journey's still like 45 minutes to get home, innit? They now said that the bus that normally takes me home, terminate. Bear in mind, the bus is 24 hours.
Yeah.
So on this day, so that it's terminated now.
Brother.
That's the first time in my life I got black cab.
Oh, is that?
I got black car, bro. I was fuming.
How much was that?
I can't remember. I think back then,
it might have been alright.
Yeah, back then, I don't think it was more than like 35.
What, for a 50-minute journey though?
No, there was that. It's true actually. It's like 35, 40. I thought, no, still.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But I remember it wasn't more than that because I didn't have bare bread on me.
So
it couldn't have been like 80.
Yeah.
I'd have walked home. Bro, I'd have walked it. Yeah. But that's the first time I took black cab.
Why didn't you just wait for the next bus?
In the morning.
It's techie though.
So they've terminated that bus, innit? From normally 24 hours and it's in the night. But to be fair, do you know what it is?
But it will come like every 30 minutes or something, innit?
No, it's not running for the rest of the night.
Oh, so the service
is terminated. So it's not that my bus has been terminated.
The whole service.
That service has been terminated.
Oh, that's dumb.
Because there was an accident like further back.
Okay.
So bare cars couldn't get through or something. So bare buses, they were like, you know what? Terminated. And I was done. And I remember chatting to the man and I'm thinking, like, what, is there no other? He was like, no. Because it was just a hype. Yeah. And if you don't know, like, just before New Cross here, is that obviously there's two ways to get into New Cross.
Yeah.
But the buses I need are coming from a certain way. So the other buses...
You just knew it was a myth.
It was a myth. Because there was a 453, but that terminated in like just before Blackheath. So it was just a myth. I thought Black Heath.
But then that's better though, because it gets you closer to
just
what you need to get to.
Just a bit closer, like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And bedtime, it's dark. I mean, fam. And back then, you know, you can't just
ends wise. You can't just be.
Can't be
loitering.
loitering. Can't be loitering.
Can't be
Can't
loitering.
be loitering.
Bro, there was one time I was waiting in the phone box. I was like, bro, I was like, bro,
You waiting in a phone box,
bro. I was like, I can't be.
Yeah, that's
No,
not.
fam. I was like,
Waiting in a phone box,
bro, I'll be honest. I couldn't be
Hey, I hear
main road.
Yeah.
Blueborough main road back then.
Hey,
You must be
I hear it.
joking.
I hear it.
Fair,
Hey, phone
fair,
box is
fair.
funny.
Bro, I was chilling there. I said, you must be kidding. Fam, it's for it to show main road, yeah. I just be waiting there. I said, no, I can't be bare visible.
Phone box.
Yeah.
I can't be bare visible. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you know, back then, I think we said it before. You could start saying, oh, yeah, I know so-and-so. So I'm like,
That's
so.
about.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That's
If it's not the right person,
If it's not the right person,
Bro,
if
the person's not there, it doesn't matter.
If the person's not there,
The person's not there, it doesn't matter.
even if the person's there,
They'll be like,
sometimes they have to be the
Sometimes
main.
you said that you're
Yeah,
gassing,
yeah.
man.
they'll be like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
just don't bang.
Don't look.
much.
Yeah. Or don't look.
Yeah,
Fam.
live on
They'll wait for you to go into a chicken shop, bro.
Fam.
What?
Get active.
Nah, but
That's
says
nuts.
it's peak still.
Yeah.
We used to do things like so. We be in. You always just talking about Northwest before. We be in like Halsden and that in like a house party, and you know, like so the youths in the ends aren't invited to their party,
Yeah.
but there's like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
bare of them
Yeah,
outside
yeah,
of the thing in it,
Yeah.
and they're thinking, there's South youths in there. These times I'm not even.
Yeah.
I'm not even South.
Yeah.
I remember one time, so we left the party now, yeah, and I'm so like obviously like sorry to him in it, but like there was bare youths outside of the party, yeah, and they followed like one youth who was obviously like
On
from
his
man's
ones.
college.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
followed
yeah.
him to another corner, bro. We just cut, and obviously like.
Nah, you buried
Yeah,
it.
you lot boyed it.
He wasn't
still.
man's virgin though.
Ah.
He just went to college, he did.
I said, well, they must be up there.
They went to man's college, bro. We just.
Yeah,
What
fair.
Yo, what do they do, man?
You see what I got to next week?
Let's call it. But I thought it wasn't man's virgin.
So one guy,
Oh,
Do you see him? Do you see him in
Like-
college the next day?
I can't remember. But yeah, he's
He was
about
about
it.
it,
He's
yeah.
about still. What
Nah,
them
that's
times there,
peak.
bro?
They'll give
Every
you
man
the-
for themselves,
give
bro.
you
Yeah,
the evil eye,
definitely.
bruv.
Unless it was man's virgin. You
Yeah,
get
no, fair enough.
what that day we caught life, fam.
Yeah.
Bare youths outside, man.
Well, South was always a myth, though, man.
Yeah, South was always long. South is definitely long.
Yeah, do you know what it is? Every party that we went to, bro, like something
Yeah.
pop up.
You just,
Yeah,
you
like,
know,
yeah,
you
for
know
no
it's
reason.
gonna happen.
Even
You know it's
yeah.
gonna
even
happen.
even to the extent, yeah, that like you see, even when you go to like a family friend, someone you even know from church,
Yeah,
yeah,
one
yeah,
day,
yeah.
yeah.
No,
something will still happen. And it's
I
like,
remember when I was younger, we used to have like my dad. I'm Ibo in it, so like the village people, like the people where my dad was from, they would
Yeah.
have meetings in South in it.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember one time we went to this meeting in South. I'm young though, innit? It's like me, my brother, my cousins are there. We're all chilling, cool, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
One of our older cousins, he was like selling hats at the time.
Mm.
I remember he's come outside now. We're deep in South. So he's going outside. I think he's trying to sell one to someone.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what he thought he was on.
Yeah.
All you see was Bear Man come. He's like, bro, what on? He's like, but obviously he's our older cousin, innit?
Yeah.
So he's come like on smoke as well.
Yeah.
They've just punched him,
Oh,
took his
my
bag.
goodness.
He's trying to scrabble for it. I'm just, you know, like I'm from like even in the north, yeah. I'm just young, so I'm just like,
Yeah.
this is just sad. Because there's nothing man can do. It's just like, oh no. So obviously,
I hear
like,
it
a
still,
couple of
yeah.
youngers, we've gone to say, oh, like uncle, like he's getting beat up. He's come back in all rough. He's like, it's fine, it's calm.
Sure.
I said, yeah, man, I don't want to come back to South. I don't think I went to South for like, another 4 years. What?
Bro, I played it. 'Cause
Hey.
I live in North and my school was in like central London basically, innit? So we had
Yeah.
like people from
Yeah. Well, no.
Like,
like Southwise, it was like Southwark, Lambeth, innit?
Mm.
But a lot of my guys, they'll take a particular bus, like obviously to go like later or whatever
Yeah.
after school. Yeah, bro. I'd find myself in Camberwell. Yeah, these times I live in North London,
Yeah, myth.
and there's a straight train from my school to my yard. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
25 minutes.
Yeah.
Bro, I'll take a bus all the way to Camberwell and be doing all sorts of exploits, bro, on a school day, man.
That's
Crazy
exploits.
still. Exploits.
Yeah.
man. Funny still.
It's
Bare
too mad,
sandwiches.
bro.
It's funny because I
Too
didn't
mad.
take that tube train until much older.
Yeah,
I was
Yeah,
just
same,
bu-
you know. Yeah,
I was just bus.
I took a bus to school.
Yeah, I remember, fam. I was like, every time we went West End, yeah, this guy would be like, yeah, like Oxford Street, this way. I was like, fam, how do you know, like,
Yeah,
belt of the...
What,
'Cause
by
actually
train?
More time, yeah, by train. Yeah.
Swear.
Fam,
More
I-
time, everybody would go to school close to their house by bus. though.
Yeah,
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 You know what I mean?
that's why.
So you wouldn't
you was
really
on train
go
from
across.
early, yeah,
I was on
fair.
train from early.
No, I've
so-
never taken train or tube for a prolonged period of time. Like, not even. I've never taken it more than twice in a row.
That's because you're part of South, though, isn't it?
But what do you mean? What do you
No,
mean
I
twice in a
understand
row?
that.
Do you mean
Yeah.
as in Monday, Tuesday?
As in, like, do you know
Train
what
to
it is?
train.
So there was a time that I tried to take train and tube to work in it, and then I remember, yeah, it was like this is when I moved outside of London, innit? bro, the train was mad long. Take me to St. Pancras, and then from St. Pancras, man
God,
walks like
change.
30 minutes. Man has to walk 30 minutes to the other side.
Convenience,
Bro, to find the
Yeah,
train to
the
get
next-
to, because these times I'm working like East Chief, innit?
Yeah.
Like, so then I get like a tube or whatever it is, bro. And I remember that day, yeah. So man's all hot and sweaty, yeah, because man's been walking around the whole St. Pancras trying to see how man gets into work and that, yeah. And then, bro, man comes out the tube station and it is hammering it down. Fam.
Oh, yeah, man.
So,
never again.
do you know what it is, bro? So, no, do you know what it is? Sorry, that was even the second day, yeah. The first day I had the same whole palaver of like walking around and all that kind of stuff. I thought it would be different the next day. It wasn't. And then, so on the second day, when it started raining, yeah, I said, yeah, never again. I'm not doing this again.
So what do you drive? More time you drive to work?
Yeah.
I can't imagine you
Everywhere.
on the train.
Everywhere.
Or a bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't still.
Swear.
Bro, at times, fam, do you know what it is as well, yeah? The thing is, there was a time I was catching coach to work.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
when you
that
move
right
out,
place,
when you move out of London, yeah, there's these coaches that help people with the commute back into
Yeah.
London, innit? So if you're like Canary, Victoria Embankment, all of them areas, yeah.
Swear.
So then I used to, bro, when I used to jump on that coach, yeah, what the sleep I used to slap in the mornings. There was one time I was snoring my head off, yeah. And like, I kind of woke, you know, you snore yourself, you snore yourself awake, fam. Bro, listen. Bro, one lady was looking at me, she's like, you're snoring really loud.
So
I
what,
like,
was that like a work thing that I set up? Like just
nah, do you know what it is? It's like, do you know what it is? It's so funny, yeah, because you know like when we used to catch coaches to places, yeah, like for school and all that.
Yeah,
stuff,
in general.
there were certain companies that were big, like Clark's, all of that kind of stuff, yeah, or National Express and all that kind of stuff, yeah. But then if you think about it, yeah, outside of like when we're going uni and we're Greyhound and these things, yeah, what, like,
when you actually need a coach.
do you get what I'm saying? So then they like saw like a gap in the market, which is like commuter coaches, where a lot of people are moving outside of London.
Yeah.
It's like,
Good
cool,
shout,
so
so.
we'll pick them up from certain places and then take them
Yeah.
into London, innit? So
It's a good
It's
shout.
a smart idea.
yeah, and it was like I think it was a bit cheaper than getting a train.
But you say that you used to like, what time was the coach at? 5:30 or something?
Yeah, the thing is, yeah, the thing that used to annoy me is when I was working in a certain place, yeah, is that I'd have to wake up bare early, yeah, catch the first, because obviously it's a coach and it's going to take longer to get anywhere, innit, with traffic as well. So like the first coach was like 6:05. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I'd have to get that one to make sure, it'll be like a 2.5 hour journey sometimes, innit? Just to make sure I'm at working time. Like, and then on the way back, yeah, I either have to be on a coach here that leaves at 5:05, which will never happen, or I have to get the next one that's like 5:55 or something like that. And if I miss that one, then it's like 6 something.
Oh, fair. So that's
And then,
only
so I'm getting home at like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
My whole day is done.
Yeah.
No, those days
Hours
were,
as well.
listen, those days were,
You get over at 9.
That's
bro,
mad, you know.
it's jarring.
After a long commute, man.
Yeah,
That's
that's like-
The only lit thing was that the coach stop was just round the corner from my yard. So
Oh, fair
Oh,
enough.
fair. Yeah, you
quick
bagged it.
walk.
Yeah, fair enough. Still,
You bagged
Yeah.
it.
it's
I
mad
didn't-
still because even on that, I remember I used to work in Brighton at a point as well.
Uh-huh.
So I
Brighton
think,
is crazy.
And you didn't just move to Brighton?
no, so I would stay there Monday to Thursday.
Fair.
So I only commute Mondays and then I'll come back on Thursday evenings and then work from home Friday.
Fair.
So I was doing that for like 4 or 5 months. On that train, yeah, from, I can't remember, was it from Waterloo? I think it was from Waterloo. Waterloo to Brighton, bro. It's like, I knew the type of sleep I'm going to have on that train. Like I'll plan it. Like, oh no, okay, there's 2 stops. That 2 stops, I'm just going to get comfortable. Like put my bag down like in a good place or that wrap it around my arm or something like that. Like, do that. If I have a little snack or something like that, back that snack. What? By the time I got to the second stop, bro, I was gone. I was gone. And that's probably like a 2-hour train as well, still to Brighton. It's far, like it's not 2-hour train. So for that 2 hours, bro, I'm gone.
When I was young, I used to hate train though. Do you know why? Because I think like, I tried to bump it a couple of times. And it's like, let's say like every time I tried to bump train, yeah,
You get bagged.
like bro, it was like 4 out of 5 times I got bagged. So there's only one, bro, do you know what? There was one mad one here where, and it's so annoying when people act like they're experiencing this thing. So it's like one of the first times I tried to bump train or whatever, yeah. I jump on the train now, yeah. Like we get to a station, yeah. And like we see inspectors jumping on. And the man was like, oh, hey, jump off. Like inspectors getting on.
They knew.
Obviously, man's listening to them, bro. Man's jumped off, gone into the station now. There's a bag of them all lined up. I was like, oh, fam.
Hey,
That's
I
hilarious.
had to give them a fake name and all
I
that
only
kind of
been
stuff.
back once still. We used to bump train. But we didn't bang train though, to be fair. We used to do coach going to uni.
Oh yeah.
So like certain train was so convenient.
You know what's
I think it was.
No, I used to bump coach to uni as well, you know.
Coach people.
Yeah, you changed the
ticket
ticket.
thing.
Oh, that thing
That's
was...
that was the new pattern.
Poverty stricken.
I've only been there once.
It's peaking, bro. Just pay the £10 from.
It's actually.
Bro.
I think like, I just got bagged bumping bus, but everything was local to me. So because I lived in King's Cross,
You're central.
Yeah, so going west was a bus. Going Highbury, Islington was a bus.
Yeah.
The only time I needed to get train was south, and I was never going south. I didn't need to be there. Do you know what I'm saying? So 9 times out of 10, it was just like I remember just getting bagged bare times on the bus, but we would just come off. Like we'll press the button, we'll just walk.
Was this Bentley bus days?
It's just yeah, but yes, Bentley bus days. So that's 70 if you was a Bentley bus. Obviously, if you got in the back, they always try to bag us.
Yeah,
it was just like
what's mad is that
you know,
we were
back in
live
the day,
for the bus era where you had to
The
pull
wires,
the thing,
innit?
the
Yeah,
wires.
yeah.
You know how mad that
that's
is?
my
I
was my that's my
Bro.
7.
The wire,
when we
bro.
were young,
Why?
ding,
Do
ding.
you remember you had to pull it? You had to pull it.
I never had to put the wire.
That was
You're a liar.
Man's always had the button. So
Nah, there was a time when there wasn't buttons.
Hop on.
No,
How old are you?
The hop on.
I've never had the wires, bro.
What?
No,
Not in my
bro.
bit. Not in my bit. I haven't had the wires in my bit.
You have, bro. There must.
Trust me, it's always from as long as I've known, yeah, bro. From as long as I've been catching.
When you was in year 7 or year 6?
When I was in year 7, year 6, it was
Even
always
the bus
the.
that goes-
Nah.
As a child.
And you know what it is?
You
know
never
what it
had
is?
to
The
pull.
reason,
I promise you,
bro.
This guy's
If there
Maybe
was
just
a,
didn't
I
take
promise
bus.
you.
yeah.
Huh?
Maybe
Maybe
just
just
didn't take bus like
Bro,
that.
No,
'cause-
remember I had a small bus that takes me like, bro. Trust me.
But you're
There's 3
saying this
buses
is
in my
your
area. Yeah. There's 3 buses in my area. It's always been the stop button. Always been.
So you never had the hop on, hop off?
There's even one
Like
that goes
open
near
back- open
church.
back
That
buses.
definitely had that.
No, not in my bit.
But that used
36
to-
36, yeah, okay,
36
cool.
therefore.
Yeah, but
36,
but
4,
what am I catching
12?
36 and 436 for? Do you get what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say?
the 12.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's the that's Peckermint? That's from Vauxhall
Yeah,
Peckermint.
yeah.
But I never used to catch bus to church or nothing like that though. So
Okay.
even
Yeah.
or like one random Sunday I might.
Even
And
the
then
fact
that's when man's on the
that tickets used to
436.
be 40p.
Yeah,
40p for
yeah,
child
40p.
tickets.
Yeah, child ticket.
My train used to be a
Gang.
pound. My used to be a pound. So I used to get £5 a week for
For
extra,
train, oh, yeah.
and then £5 for food.
You know, so imagine I used to
£5
do
for
bus
food a
passes.
week. £5 for food a week, bro.
Fam.
I was living
£5 for food a week. Which
Yeah,
I used to
it's
sell
mad.
in it. So I had that.
Yeah.
Do you know? Do you know
Really
what I used to do with bus passes back in the day? Yeah, you know, this is way back in the day as well. Yeah, so this is like year 7 or them times. I'll get bare bus passes. I've got all the different dates in it, and remember it was them cards.
Yeah.
Nah,
So you had bus passes, but you didn't have no. I don't believe you, man.
trust me, bro.
No way.
Bro, trust me.
No.
Research it, bro.
Nah,
None of
that's
them
cap,
buses
man.
had the.
Right, I'm going to do my research after
Yeah,
that.
man,
Right.
how?
I'll give you the bus numbers as well. I'm even gonna bleep out them areas that man was saying. So. You try to find out what I'm saying.
No, so your ends was early. From early.
Yeah, from early we had the stops.
Nah, myth,
I
man.
think it was progressive
Fam,
still.
Can't.
I remember when you jumping off the 36, yeah, obviously open back. Can't remember what happened. I feel like he saw his bus behind. The bus is moving. He's jumped off. Bro, it is like, and you know the bus is going forward. That he's gone back.
Yo,
is that the
hey,
window?
none of you tried that?
Is that,
Nah, it's the worst thing ever.
So,
I've seen a couple man do it, but
Bro.
I knew that they were different, bro. I knew they were bought different. So obviously, like a couple man will be able to know that the bus is going, so they'll run a certain way to jump off and grab their bus.
hey.
I thought, let me try, but I said, let it slow down.
Yeah.
Even that it's slowed down, I still buckled. As I'm jumping, I said, no, never again, man.
Yeah,
Two flames still.
But I know what you're talking about. That's mad.
Bro, I couldn't run.
My man jumped.
Jumped, bro. Jumped, and it was tragic. Bro.
Bloody
Like, when he jumped, the way he flew back there, so he fell into the bins.
Yeah,
Oh.
Like, you know, New Cross main.
It's actually like what do they call that? Slapsticks comedy in that.
Bro, listen,
Yeah.
he felt. I said, bro, listen.
Yuck.
And you miss your bus as well, fam.
What was you like when you was younger? Was you like, as in like, in terms of like going places? Like that? So you know like how these lot started off by talking about how, like back in the day it was like, oh, like would you go certain places and all that kind of stuff? Like, what was you like?
Nah. I knew where I needed to be and I was there.
Yeah,
So I was someone who's comfortable. So obviously, like from school, so I used to live in Dalston and I used to go to like an adventure playground in my ends.
okay.
So that's why I just knew everyone, like, whether you're old, young,
Mm.
all of that stuff in it. Then when I moved to King's Cross, all I knew was there.
When
So
you
I
say King's
just go
Cross,
back.
as in like the same place that St. Pancras is?
Yeah, bro. I live.
That's
I
the
live.
Pancras.
I live.
Is this you blocks behind?
No, I hear it, but
Well, there's blocks. There's you see the road like where my yard is.
yeah.
It's the most quiet roads that you can ever live on, and I live in like so. It's literally about a 7-minute walk from the station. I remember once I was in year 9, yeah.
Bro, he giving us very detail,
Yeah.
bro.
But the thing about King's Cross is that it can be 7 minutes any direction.
Fair,
You'll
fair.
never
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Do you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah,
unless you
yeah.
know where like certain things
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
You could be going Cali, you could be going Houston, you could be going like 7 minutes.
Fair.
Either way, yeah. So don't try it. But flipping, I remember like it was mad. I remember it was in year 9, and this is how I knew where I lived was peak. It was going Paris. So I don't know if you lot went like got to go.
Oh yeah.
So we was going Paris for school trip. I know my passport was meant to be coming. It was meant to come before I left because I just renewed it, innit? The day to go Paris has come, my passport hasn't arrived. But 2 days before I called them, and my mum was like, "Oh, they should be coming within before I need to leave, innit?" Yo, that night before we was going Paris, I was up, bro. I started doing bare things. I was praying, I was doing it. Walk. I thought I was the guy. I remember nothing came. I ended up going to school. I was like, yo, miss, look, I ain't got my passport. Can I just meet you lot there? So I was like, if you ain't got your passport by the time we're at St. Pancras, we're just not coming. I'm sorry. So cool.
Shy.
Bro, my dad's just drove back. We've drove back to school now. As I've got as I've got back home, the guys pulled up on a sack with my passport.
Sure.
I left, I grabbed it. My dad
You
went to
made
go
the
and get it. What? I bucked all the man there. I said, yo, where you lot? And like, we just got to St. Pancras now. I pulled up, I was like, miss.
Well, he said the same ways, man.
What?
St. Pancras.
Yeah, no, St. Pancras. You've infiltrated. But and that's when I knew I was like, yeah, I've bagged it still.
Yeah.
I bagged it. But I weren't really someone who I didn't really travel. So if I didn't take bus, because I knew I was going, I was always like, my dad will drop me places.
Oh, okay, cool.
But I always just made sure, I was just always in Islington, man. I think the furthest I would go at times was probably Hackney.
Okay, yeah.
Because it was a close, like, so I didn't need to go
Yeah.
south like that. I think the first time I ever went south, I might have been, so I used to dance, innit? I used to dance, yeah.
In what sense though?
Like street dance.
For real?
Yeah. So
Okay.
like,
What is street dance?
so like literally like
Body
street
bumping
dance.
and that.
Way like crumping, b-boy, hip hop, a little bit, yeah. So we had a group called like God's Gift, innit? So it was like 5 of us. We so when we used to dance, we used to perform at places, innit?
Oh, okay.
Did you like, when you say street dance,
Yeah.
was you on the street then? Like, do you know what I mean? No, I'm just asking.
Oh, fair, no. So
You know like when you go Oxford and someone's
and
beating the
someone-
You know that you eat the Man United top?
and they put their hands around and they just
You know you eat the Man United top? Do you know what I'm talking about?
opposite.
Nah, listen, that is...
The one that's at opposite, like where I came back to be 9 a.m. I know what you're talking about. No, so like it's just a type of dance, innit?
Yeah.
Okay, come.
But it was never on the streets, you know. We rehearsed like in places at times, but just on the street. I remember we used to go to performances or like perform at like aunties or parties and that.
Yeah.
So that's the first time I started going places like South.
Okay.
Do you get it? And I remember like it was peak. I remember even one time in the mandem, we was just walking through a park at night.
Sure.
And we heard, yo, what going? So start cutting.
See them scenarios.
Saw the venue, we just ran. We didn't look back. No one looked back to start cutting. You know, like everyone's silent, but you know you're always no one set back to look for anyone.
Experience one.
Yeah,
bro. Smart.
So I think that was the time. But other than that, I didn't really need to leave ends. Yeah.
No, I feel you still.
Was that a church group? You said because you said it was.
Yeah. So we met at youth group.
Okay.
So we met at youth group. Like we were just the man. So we used to go to a youth club called St. Mary's, and we had a youth group in church.
Okay.
So as we was dancing now, and we were just like, wow, why don't we just call ourselves God's Gift? Just like, yeah, why not? That's how it started, yeah.
Are any of them still doing it now?
What, as in the group or just dancing?
Or just,
Kinda, but not really. So the group ain't there anymore. But one of the guys is still in dance. Like he's getting back into it this year. But he went to perform like for the Queen and all them things.
Oh,
He was doing his thing.
Chair.
But no one's really doing the group thing no more like that.
Yeah, it's a link back, man. Do reunion. And you know that thing where you was dancing on BBC? To the BBC.
And they called it back later.
You should never do that again. So. That one was great.
Link back.
You should never do that again. That one was insane.
Hey, you know if they want black people to do certain things for them, they will make you do it, you know. How are you dancing to the BBC soundtrack?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're flipping in the studio.
It's
crazy.
The thing is though, back in the day, dancing was a thing though.
Yeah.
The whole body popping and all that kind of stuff.
Of course. Yeah.
We performed at a school in West London actually.
I thought you was about to say Glastonbury, bruv. Damn,
and that's when I knew from that day, like the way they goes, oh my days, you know, was so sick.
It was a
thing. What? I remember, and then a couple years later, I remember going somewhere and someone was like, you performed at my school one time, and I thought, this is a myth. What?
Yeah,
I said impossible. But yeah, performing at like girls' schools was
Shy.
back then,
Oh,
I was
yeah,
sick.
that's
Yeah, game over, man.
What we used to get groupies of that?
What? Easy, bro.
Yeah, they used to love it.
Not me
Crazy.
personally,
Love it.
innit, but the group, innit?
Was it someone said it? I agree with that person, didn't it?
But yeah, that was fun still. Yeah,
That's
man.
it.
He's always like confident performing in that then. Well, how did you get into like the performance? side?
50-50. So I had been performing from young. So like from early, like obviously with African parents, like my parents were working around the clock. So from early, I used to do a drama school. I can't remember if it was Anna Shears or Stagecoach.
Okay.
But I used to go to like another school to do that after school in there. And that was from like reception.
Okay.
So I think that's where I found my love for like performing and doing stuff in there. And I was meant to do a performance. And I'd always been that, like my parents always say that you was always the one who was just talking or making people laugh and da-da-da-da-da. So I thought, oh, okay, sick. And then I think things just, you start performing, you perform more. But then what tends to happen sometimes, like people start speaking in it. So you think, oh, I might not be good enough at this, or you get competition. So then your confidence kind of dampens. But then it's like, for me, I don't know, there was always like, I always knew what I was sick at. And if I wasn't, I could just make it look good. So I think that's how it went for me, to be fair. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Did you ever do like
was
rapping?
alright.
Did you ever spit in that? Make beats?
Yeah, well, I feel like everyone's
Yeah, everyone.
everyone. But no, when I was young, I think I tried it all. I remember there was a youth club. A youth club used to go what when we was younger,
Oh, yeah.
There was a youth club I went to. They had you had the opportunity to make a beat, make a track. Like, so I remember the man used to rap. I was never the baddest spitter in it, but I had like my 116 that I could run.
Yeah. Wheel up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got your 116.
Yeah.
But there was certain men who were just sick with it from
Yeah,
early.
yeah.
Like from early, and I was
From
thinking,
early.
raw, like. But then I remember like certain man used to listen to like pirate radio from the jump. For like being Nigerian, I had a lot of old school Nigerian gospel influences in my life, innit? So when a lot of the man them was like listening to like some of them man from early, I weren't.
Yeah.
But I would hear them listen to like school, innit? And then I'll see the man, I'll come into school and obviously the man will be going back to back, innit?
No, I hear it still.
Fizz.
That's funny because even with me, I remember my brethrens one time they came to stay at my house, innit? Because they're my cousins, innit? So they come to stay at my house. So back in the days, to play music in cars, you had to burn it on the CD.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I remember I'd burnt like some rap stuff on the CD and that, innit? There was spitting, there was rap on it. And I would just put it in the car and play it, innit? Remember, my mum was driving, and I played it. But the thing about my mum, is that my mum's not really listening to what my dad, bro. My dad, there was one time, I left the CD in the car by accident. And my dad took the car out, and he was driving, bro. He called me. He said, right. He said, what's this? Like, I kind of forget it. He said, like, have you listened to these lyrics? I was like, yeah, it's just. He said, no.
This one is no good.
But there's no good. But my mum now, so we're playing it. My mum's not clocking. My cousin, like, fam, turn it off. And turn it off. Kind of thinking that mom's going to hear. I said, trust me, this is like a 40-minute journey. My mom's not going to, she's not going to listen to anything that's happening, innit? But I say that to say that from young, when it came to rap, UK rap, bro, I used to slap it. From young, UK rap, for me, when U2 first came, it was just for that UK rap. I didn't really use it for anything.
Grime was first for man still before rap.
Nah, man weren't, Grime came after.
Grime was like obviously like early secondary school. And then coming into secondary, and then UK rap started like, so like PDC and that.
Yeah.
That was like what was like
definitely
listening to in school. That was like the first.
The only reason I proper knew Grime was because people were spitting in school.
Yeah.
So more people
But for you to listen
rap.
to it,
But in terms of what I listened to, it was rap.
Yeah.
But the
I
spitting
swear
thing
it was like, to be fair, BLMB score is like later, but it was like Mucky Wolfpack, there was
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? All of them, even like, obviously from
It's
like,
Chinese days, isn't it?
Chung Family.
Yes.
do you get what I'm trying to say? But
Yeah.
even way before Chung Family was like,
Yeah.
even like South Soldiers, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Bro, what? You didn't have the pulleys?
Must he have the police?
You're going back. I don't even know if I was about them times. That's crazy.
Yeah, from that.
Yeah, I used to.
We
bro.
banged it.
But we used to have,
Yeah.
I used to do the CD thing as well, innit? With the instrumentals, remember?
Oh yeah.
They would play it in my
We used to
mom's
rap.
car and that. Like here and there, man.
Yeah, run
nothing,
side.
nothing crazy.
Quick one.
No. Alright, cool. Cool.
Nah, this guy's a couple.
Listen. There's no way.
No chance, man.
There's actually no way.
But the church tunes back in the day were cold.
Yeah.
So till this, so we had
Oh, you don't made it too?
we
I
had a couple
swear.
songs for church, innit? So till this day, like listening to it, it's like, nah, this is sick.
Yeah.
This
Who's
is
got
actually
that
sick.
hard drive?
I think you
probably
probably
do.
still.
That's not coming out, man.
Never.
You had it on it. Yeah, so
never.
But yeah, so you not made a track as well.
Yeah.
We made a track as well.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What, it's like for church? Or
No, it was like
out?
it was trying to go out, but it was faith based, didn't it?
Yeah.
So like, but it was nuts. Cause I feel like there was 6 of us, so we felt like there was
What, is it the same guys you used to break dance?
You talk about Bibles.
Yeah, it was similar to Bible. Yeah, literally around that same time that came out. There was 3 of us that used to dance that jumped on it.
Okay.
And then like 3 of the other guys who were just like who knew how to spit, but
Fair,
also Christians in it. So yeah, we done the same.
So who's got that
still.
hard drive?
Huh?
Who's got that hard drive?
I've got the track.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool, yeah. Play your dance, play did it?
Yeah, what is it?
I think you man did it.
Yeah, fair. But them things used to go off. So we listen back to
you
it.
know
Like,
what?
you know what?
Hey, I'm proud of man because I even remember there was I remember the morning. Yeah, you know that he would come like no, not even that one. The story one. Let me tell you about this girl called Nat.
Yeah.
So I remember. Yeah, it's like we were going studio.
Yeah.
I think it was that Sunday after church.
Yeah.
I hadn't finished my bars yet. So I remember being downstairs in my yard.
Someone had it on their phone one time. Someone brought it.
It might have been Joel.
I think it was. I remember he played it to someone, yeah, and your particular.
Wait, let me tell you about this girl called that.
And they were like, "Fam, who's this?"
What?
They were like, "Who's this?" But they didn't recognize your voice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They didn't recognize your voice at all.
Yeah,
bro, you sounded completely.
Yeah, it's funny still.
Bro,
That's
that's completely different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even you as well.
Yeah. I sounded completely.
No,
my
bro.
voice hadn't broken.
Your voice
Imagine that.
broken.
I was speaking first, then 4-bar repeat, bro. Crazy. Do you know what's so magic? You know, I always used to write when we used to get to what's his name, Jar, didn't it, to the studio. Yeah, I would literally write my bars there. I'd be struggling. I'm thinking, fam, like, what am I doing? Like, bro, that thing was a conundrum. That was mad.
What's funny? I got one of my bridges. Yeah, bro. It was not even funny like that, but he had a track when we were young, like 7, and it was to what's this? I got 5 on it.
Oh yeah.
But it was basically that.
That's mad.
It was going to for that 7.
That is
and it's
funny.
so funny because the track was actually like talking about that, basically not being on road, that staying in school and that, innit? Like, fam, by the next year, bro, you heard this boy's lyrics. It was, I used to banter him by. Fam, like, what, you're not doing that? The sales, bro.
Just so mad.
The next one, bro, was talking about all sorts.
There was one time we were supposed to perform in church, innit? Like, and for some reason it was just like me and the olders or something like that. Yeah, because you know some of the olders used to rap as well. Yeah, and then we was there like rehearsal, whatever, innit? So the man spitting the bars that man had, yeah, and I said something like one less shub or rave that I'm reaching, yeah, and he was like, nah, man, I can't be saying anything there. Like, I'm not promoting that. I'm not promoting that. Like, I'm like, but I'm saying, bro, I'm not reaching.
Yeah.
But he said, nah, man. Man's not. Remember
who he was?
I was like, all right, man.
Remember who it was?
Yeah, I was gonna
It's
say.
a joke, guys.
Huh?
It's a joke. Is it who man would think it is?
Nah.
Oh, so yeah.
Nah, I don't think.
Okay.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
Do you know who it was? Yeah, you know, 6'3", and I'm
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what's so funny?
Hey,
that makes sense though.
Yeah. There's one
agree-
stage he was moving radical about it.
No, the reason that makes sense is because I remember, obviously, so how we are on the pod now.
Yeah.
Obviously, the way we've grown up to the way we've grown up in it. So
Yeah.
from young, if I want to go to a party, kind of just go in it. Do you know what I mean? But in my mind, I'll know that, all right, I'm going here, but I'm not trying to be like everyone per se.
Yeah.
Sometimes, listen, you indulge, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Bro, listen, I like you indulge, yeah, but in general,
You might like indulge, fam. Listen, have a nibble, have a bite.
But more time, So I remember one time I was in the car and I was getting home now, and it was from like a church something. So it was that guy you're talking about, and the guy who you used to go to his house for studio.
Yeah.
So both of them in the front, I'm in the back, and they're dropping me home, and they're just talking to man about going out and stuff like that, and parties and stuff, innit? And again, because of the way I am or the way we are, they were like, oh, what? Do you go like parties now? I said, yeah. And they were like, what?
Set yourself up.
They were like, what? You still playing to go like?
I thought it was a
You know what? Man knew, but it's like, I just didn't care. I know back then they used to call it raving. Like, the whole party, they used to be raving.
Yeah.
I think that's what. If I say shub and left it as shub, when I say shub or rave,
Rave or rave,
yeah,
yeah.
they were on me.
So they're like, oh, are you going to go raving and that? I said, yeah, probably still. One thing about me, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie, bro. Like, I'm not lying. This is exactly what I'm doing. Like, kind of thing. So they were doing the thing, where they were like, bro, but come on, like, can't you see it like this, can't you do it like that? And I'm just getting back and forth. So for the whole journey, we're getting back and forth about it, innit? But I'm like, you know what, you lot, I respect it, innit? And like love for
Love for that.
No, but you know what it is? Because one thing about man, I appreciate anytime you try and
at least tell man, defo.
I'll hear it, innit? You get what I'm trying to say? And you're trying to look out for man in a way that you think makes sense, innit?
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, fair play. And I heard a lot of their points made sense, innit? About why you shouldn't go.
Yeah,
Do
definitely.
you know what I mean? But other points I would ask and it would just kind of crumble. But overall, I got their point. But I just still used to go, innit? Do you know what I mean? And then even the way the podcast is now, it kind of shows. Do you know what I mean? In that, when I look at things, when I look at certain situations, I'm like, now I hear why people will be like, listen, there's something you should stay away from. Do you get me?
Yeah, definitely.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
But I can't definitively tell you, don't do
X, Y, Z.
X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. But funny enough though, you know how you were saying earlier that like, we're
Do you reckon you can't tell people don't do X, Y, Z?
for certain, no, but you can tell them
the things that aren't black and white.
You can tell them don't do it as your advice.
Yeah.
But as if don't do it because this is 100% wrong is more so. Do you get me?
But you know what it is, yeah? I think with that, yeah, I feel like, even though I get what you're saying, yeah, and I err on the same side of caution, yeah, I definitely feel like I can be like to someone, cool, don't go on holiday with this guy that you're chatting to because...
Yeah, of course.
Not because it's 100% wrong, but because...
Yeah.
Of course. And it's not that it's 100% wrong, it's just that...
That's what I'm saying. So you can tell them don't do it as your advice to them. I said don't do it.
Yeah.
But then your answer won't be don't do it because you 100% should. But do you not even shouldn't
But do you think that's what happens with mandem though?
In what sense?
Is it safe space?
Yeah, I say, bro.
I feel like with mandem, yeah, we do what you're saying. So we do the thing where it's like, don't go on holiday with my man or with homegirl because X. But then we always tend to find out. But if you do, just make sure you guys, do your best. You know what I'm saying? Pray together.
Do your best.
You know what I'm saying? It's okay, but you can get women who will tell their girls, no, just don't go.
Don't go.
Straight, and that's it. It ends there.
You don't want to be the guy that says, that's the one that is saying...
You see those ones, you know what's so funny, yeah? You know those ones are so funny to me because when the girls will be like to another girl, no, don't do it, the girl will just do it anyway. Bro, I feel like the man that almost say face, man, just be like, but if you do, people are going to do what they want to do at the end of the day.
I think that's what it is. People are ultimately
going to do what they want to do.
That's always important to say, but ultimately, fam,
they're going to just do it.
Bare times people have told me, fam, don't chat to her. Don't go to... Why are you there?
Why did you go?
Bro, it's like, why are you there? It's laughing, like, why did you go there?
No, I actually hear like man will actually do with it. Like people in general actually would do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a covering it. Maybe it's like an extension of grace by saying if you do, it's like.
But ultimately, it's that. Say it, innit?
Exactly. But say what you're gonna say.
You know what it is? If I thought something was 100% wrong, there's no if you do. It's like I don't do it. Get me? I don't. So if I know, if all of the man them were telling me, they're gonna go link one girl.
Yeah.
There's no if
it don't
you
make
do.
Sense.
It's I don't go, bro.
Just so mad though, like by the
Just don't
time.
go.
Listen, or Jade, I shall tell you. Listen, by the time I've said it means when we speak here, we follow what we said. But essentially, like from when I've told the man them, man's getting to do X. If I say I'm going to do something,
there's nothing.
Mine's already made up. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not like
I'm thinking about it.
Like, fam, it's alright, man. You know what I mean?
But regardless, though, I'm going to tell you, I don't do it. Regardless, even if I know you're 100%
just
going to
so
do it,
funny,
I'm still going to tell you.
Just so
I
funny.
don't.
Bro, there was a time I was asking you about someone, and he was like, nah, bro, don't do it.
I know.
Must be 2 years of my life. Did you get to say that? He's like, nah, don't do it.
And you know what it is? Because that one, by the way, is not even the 100%. But I'm like, when you're my brethren,
but it's still like,
when you're my brethren, I'm actually going to be like more cut from
and you went to go do 2 years. Look at this. Bro. But sometimes you have to learn for yourself as well.
Yeah.
That's another thing, but
it's funny because
it's hard.
It's like, when it's something that you know you want to do, but you probably per se like shouldn't do it. I'm going to do the thing, but I want to learn by myself. But you shouldn't have to learn by yourself.
I think that's the biggest killer, you know.
It's true.
I think that's the biggest killer as youngers.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I feel like even with man, it's when I started to learn from other people's mistakes that I actually started to do well in life. Did you get what I'm saying? But when it was like, nah, like I want to do like my own thing and bro,
it's a myth.
Just making bare stupid mistakes.
Especially when it's with women and it's like, no, I actually like her.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense.
It does
I
still.
like her though. I want to check. It's like, fam,
What are you doing? I can change it all.
Like, it's just like, stop it. Stop it, bro.
But it's mad because even what you're saying is like, obviously, like, I was just reading, it's mad, I was reading this morning, Hebrews, innit? And it literally says, like, follow the wise ones, like the leaders that led before you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, bro, forget it even just being biblical. It's like life school.
Yeah.
You're not going to see someone walk, they fall in a ditch, you're going to walk right behind them and follow the same line. You're going to go around a different way. So it's actually mad, bro.
But it's funny because we always say, I think, obviously, we're mandem, innit?
That's what it is, innit?
I think bare people think that we're more lenient than we are with certain things. There's better things where I'm actually going to tell you, hey,
don't do that.
Don't do that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, even if it's like, it can be calm.
Yeah, just no point.
Hey, don't do it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Don't even bother wandering
100%.
in that direction.
Yeah.
Don't think that because man's here is cool and we'll tell you, come and drink any of us.
separate.
That man's going to be like, oh yeah, like, enjoy yourself.
It's a free-for-all.
No, it's not a free-for-all,
Yeah,
bro.
definitely.
The bare thing I'm going to tell you, hey, listen, just stay away.
Yeah. Do you think man them do that a lot more personally than out loud? For everyone.
What do you mean out loud though?
Because I was on TikTok the other day, I was just scrolling, innit? And I think I came across like 3 women basically, like for an example, 3 women was like, when he thinks we're gonna have sex before marriage, but we're not. And I thought, wow, these girls are bold. Like, there's 3 girls all saying like,
they'll be saying that.
they're abstaining.
This guy.
We say that.
This guy.
No, facts.
You're alone. So I did bet caveats into something like, but
no, but
we're gonna get engaged.
What I'm saying is that
we're getting engaged anyway. Something like that. And that's definitely. I know.
Have they shut them off on their teaser?
If that's your TikTok, I believe you.
No, that is hilarious. No, but I said like they were just saying like, like they're abstaining.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're scoring, and then I'll come across like mandem creatives who are Christian as well, but it's not like they're not saying that. They're just saying like more positive stuff, innit?
More positive.
But I think my point is that, but I know if I chat to them, they'll tell me they're not having sex before marriage, innit? So I'm like, why don't you put that online?
Yeah.
Like, why would what is it with like man them
Do you know what it is?
saying?
I think man them have got a lot more in terms of like, in general, I feel like when we say certain things, we're trying to live by them things that we said.
Rather than just saying.
So if we know that there's certain things that you get to say that, let me not be too brave with this thing. Well, I've slipped up in it before or something like that.
Fair.
And do you know what it is as well, yeah? I don't know like how you lot feel about this shit, but one day we're going to talk about this thing properly, yeah? But you know, like, it's the whole, like, if you've fallen in a certain thing before, like the whole shame of not having the same vim or telling people not to do that thing because of someone can easily turn around. And they might not even know. It might have been a private thing or whatever it is, yeah? They might not know that you've, fallen in that sin, but you feel a way about being like, don't have sex before marriage. These times, fam, you was slapping off.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Slapping off is crazy.
I do hear you, but I agree with you as well. In terms of that. I know that man are definitely just not wanting to say it. Because they don't want to look like that guy.
That's what I was saying. Like,
as well as obviously what you said as well.
What, as in what, they want to be cool or they don't want to look like
you don't want
jobs worth.
That's what it is. Yeah, basically, you know. Like, and I guess that's what it is, isn't it? It's like, if a man comes online and says, yo, I'm not having...
They'll be like, well done, thank you.
That's what it is, like,
right on.
Like, with girls, it's like all the comments and it's like, same, man,
girls
you
love
always
it.
get the 2 sides of the coin when they're saying it and they're doing another thing.
But they're more like...
They're more like...
Okay, so the videos that I've done, that is like talking to the camera about like stuff, So far it's been like about marriage, like your value and stuff like that. I'm very much that guy that will say, don't do it.
Have you said it?
Yeah, I have still. But I haven't done a video explicitly
like
about celibacy and stuff like that. But in one of the videos that I did, I was talking about how society places man's value in women, innit?
Yeah.
And I was like, fam, stop it. Like, it's enough.
I think,
you know what I mean? Like, how many girls are you going to chat to? Whatever, Even like when it comes to marriage, I'm like, bro, lock it in. Like, let's not do the... Like, so I'm very... Me personally, and even amongst my brethren, I'm the guy that they will probably tell things last because they know what I'm going to tell them. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I do hear you still. I've started to... Mistar started doing it, like with Mace Mondays and stuff like that. And then there's a few other men that are kind of doing that sort of...
that kind of thing.
It's nowhere near
it's nowhere
the same.
It's nowhere near the same.
It's nowhere near
the
the
man
same.
that do it, they'll say it, and then they'll cover it with but you know, it's just
There's a bit of
it's just my sit like.
But you know what it is as well. I reckon the way man them are, they receive like information in a certain way from a certain person. Do you know what I mean? So I reckon if you went online and just started to be like, hey, listen, man, don't do the boom, boom, boom. I think no one look at you
Man,
like,
they look
he's that's him. Like that's his. Like I feel like the way certain man look at things, innit? So I feel like the way man trying to come across at times, it's just, hey, listen, I get it. You get me?
Yeah.
Like I actually understand, but try not to.
I think it's almost TMI though. Like it's just not the mandem weight of content. Do you get what I'm saying? When it comes to like, even when mandem are chatting about and they're revealing all and testimonies and this, that, and the other, even when they talk about the sex part, it's a they gloss over it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's not something that they go in depth with or anything like that. So it's like, I feel like it's almost like, you know when they say like a gentleman doesn't kiss and tell, for example, I feel like it's the same sort of vibes. I feel like man them don't necessarily speak about that. Yeah. But when it's a girl now, she's doing a vlog and she's like we was having sex, like we was. Do you get what I'm trying to say, bro? Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, and it's like, fair. Remember, hey, do you know what's so funny? There was a point in time where everyone had Proverbs 3:5 in their Bible and that, but then she's got a tag and it says live, laugh, love. And then the man will know, we believe you, fam. Just be laughing, everyone's fighting's coming off. You get what I'm trying to say? You get what I'm trying to say? Like, bro. But then the girl have a redemption story on her vlog and that. See? Don't get, listen. When you're not laughing, I'm not getting onto them. I'm just saying, innit? Like,
that is hilarious.
The man them wouldn't have that kind of.
No, I remember. I can saw two one time. Like, if a girl has that live, laugh. Laughing in a room.
In a room, on the wall. You're gonna live, laugh, and love. That room, bro. You're gonna live, laugh, and love, bro.
And you have that in your room.
It's so funny because they thought it was lit. They thought it was back.
But you know what
you're saying about the TMI thing? I remember we spoke about this thing before about testimonies.
Yeah.
And how when people are giving testimonies, it's good to it's good to let everyone know the extent of
you know when they give the testimony that they really love that life. But
like the life that they were saved from. That's what I'm saying though.
The life that they were saved from, they love it.
A girl will start, and more time will be a girl because man, them don't really do it when it comes to
that kind of
like sexual stuff. Yeah, the girl will be like, listen, you know, and I slept with 30 guys, in a week more time.
Let's start talking about
I'll give him head that in the toilet.
Before we get in trouble, let's start talking about the man.
No, bro, but no. Do you know why? Because the man not. But the
they're
man
not making them post.
The man
they're not making
that
them
kind of
content.
testimony. But you know what the man them do though? The man do too. Obviously, I was on the road. I used to have a Rambo the size of something. Get me 35 bricks used to be there, man. It's like, bro, it's on both sides. It's like we don't need
an exaggeration of a certain thing.
Listen, we don't need that amount of info, even if it's true.
That one stage I was making 100k every day.
Do you get me?
Right, man. Do you, bro?
Bro, we don't need that. Do you get me? Like, I get it that, maybe that will help someone, but there's a way of describing stuff here. That's like, we understand.
And we'll get
if you told man that you were very promiscuous, we understand.
Yeah.
If the man them also told man that he was deep into road and
whatever was doing,
we also get it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there's certain, it sounds too, like, we're glorifying it.
But I think that's the issue, innit? Because I think because we've glorified it and we've had the stigma of like man them being roads, you don't get man them being like, bro, man them are Jezebels too, bro.
Yeah.
So like, but we don't get that side. Because man them still equate that to being cool.
And
do you know what I'm saying?
And it's generally just got less of a stigma with men.
With man, yeah.
In terms of, as in how many, like...
So if a man slept with like 20 people...
it's more seen as like, he's just meant...
he's just a man doing men things or whatever it is, But if it's a woman, obviously... Yeah. But the thing is, obviously, that's shifting now as well.
That's what I'm about to say.
That's what I'm saying, because I think that's the issue, though.
Yeah.
Because it's like...
But it's shifting for the worse. Because it's now, everyone can do it. There is no stigma.
Everyone can do it, but even like the whole man, it being normal for like 20 man and that. Yeah. We all know that's a bit of a mad thing.
Bro.
Hey, what?
Sorry, no, but I mean, it the man doing for 20 man?
Not 20 man, but it's 20 crazy. Even up there 20 team.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
But
it's not.
We give it that blie because it's like, he's a man.
Yeah.
I do. You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like that's what you're saying that's true in that we probably never, we're saying it now, that's not normal. But let's say about the podcast, we probably will make a TikTok saying that's not normal. But if the man them,
that's what I'm basically
we're chilling with the man them and someone said 20, I'm like, bro, you're
bro,
right.
You mad?
I'm like, fam, what is going on?
The maddest thing is,
what
bro,
is actually going on?
and this might be a thing for man to fix up on, but if someone, I'm not shocked, bro.
You're not doing that.
I'm not even saying. Someone can say that, and it's not even a thing that rings an alarm bell in my head.
What's the vibe though in terms of like that's happened or I'm actively doing that?
No, that's happened.
That's happened. That's not ringing an alarm.
Nah, last month. Come on, that's more what I'm talking about.
I don't think I know anyone. I don't know anyone that's that active right now.
No, it's not about. No, it's if someone has come to say
and say,
fam,
what's going on?
If you're telling me,
I just start cracking them jokes as that fam. Like, you just got to fix up in life.
If you're telling me,
where are you at? Yeah, you're actually jobless though. If you
like, fam,
have you got
enough time?
It's not.
Why are you doing this, bro? Like, so I get it. The man them definitely need to.
It requires a bold.
It does.
But this regardless of what we said,
I think this is what we've been saying for the longest point in time, where like the man them need to step up in terms of holding each other accountable.
Definitely.
Even in terms of like all of the stuff that goes on nowadays, like everything. Like I'm talking about every single thing, every aspect of everything. The man them need to step up and hold each other more accountable.
I heard that.
I think there is when it comes to the difficulty of that is the fact that as a man, you are kind of like an island, isn't it, essentially? As in the way that we operate in life is that we are our resource and everything. Yeah. We fall back on ourselves and we can't fall back on no one else. Obviously, we fall back on God, innit, as Christian men. But do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, we should be the resource. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, if we are managing our own worlds and all that kind of stuff, like, how can the next man come and be telling me
how to manage?
Do you get what I'm trying to say? And then, because you don't want the next man to come and tell you what to do, you're not necessarily going to tell the next man what to do. Yeah. But then, obviously, when you got friends and brothers and family that are close to you, you can always tell them, man, yo, listen.
I think with certain things as well, so it's like, it's not me telling you. I'm just highlighting what the Bible says.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing.
Do you get what I mean? So obviously, I'm just bringing to the forefront what we all ultimately believe in, innit? Do you get what I mean? And I guess if you take it away, then it's like,
I think it's about tact. I think it's about tact, if I'm being honest. But I think with anyone, and I'm going to forget the verse and I'm going to paraphrase it horribly, innit? But it's like, when it talks about like honey and all that kind of stuff, like how we speak to people sometimes, innit? And it's like, or just being wise, innit? Could you get what I'm trying to say? If man, but you know what it is, though? Some people will switch off here where there's times when I've spoken to someone, and they're telling me about a lot that's going on, and bro, I ain't saying nothing about any scripture. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
If anything, sometimes I'm just listening. Do you know what I mean? And it ends the conversation, I'm like, listen, I'm going to pray for you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I'm not even going to X, Y, Z, boom, because sometimes you know, as soon as they hear a verse, they'll be like, oh yeah, like that's he was just looking for an opening. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. Like, so it's kind of like one of them ones where it's like, I think it's about tact, bro.
But with online is different though, isn't it? Because like if you're having a conversation with someone, obviously, do you get? But with online, it's like
you're talking to anyone.
It's this one moment that I'm capturing your attention for however many minutes or whatever. Cool, this is the message that I'm trying to put across, innit? But obviously, even with that, there has to be like a way that
grace, a way to say it.
But that's obviously like, and what I'm very much, I say it all the time. My mom said it to me one time. She said, "You're not a stone, innit?" So like she was talking about like being careful around women, innit? Innit? Like you're not a stone, innit? Like you go with these friends, you're not a stone. Like you're a man, innit? Like so, be careful, innit? So whenever I talk about like women and sex and all of this sort of stuff, bro, I'm not a stone. I understand. I get it. Like, oh, your man's been through it. I get it. But this is what.
Not a stone until you take it on, bro.
I'm joking. I'll go for a big, bro.
But you know, fam. What?
No, what's he? Nah.
I'm joking, man.
But you know what the whole thing about the accountability thing, I think that's why it's key on both sides in that. Man them have to be better at holding the man them accountable.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, man them also have to be better at
being open,
receiving accountability. That's the hard. Be humble, isn't it? You get me? Like, I think you have to be humble, bro. You get what I'm trying to say? You actually have to be able to. You're wrong.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Fam, everyone can be held accountable. Do you know what I mean? And you should, like, especially if you're a Christian, you should be always seeking that accountability. Like,
but you know what it is? One thing I will say as well, it's like people got to have done the work though. Do you get what I'm trying to say? In terms of like, you can't tell me not to do something and I'm saying why. And like, you're going to tell me what your pastor said.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? No, like, why do you think I shouldn't do it? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Because how much do you believe in this thing? Like, how can you talk to me about this thing? So when I start saying stuff back here, you've only got the stuff that your pastor has said, and then you've got nothing. You've got nothing further.
Because they haven't read their Bible.
Do you know what? It's not just reading your Bible, but even doing your work in terms of like. So you know, sometimes someone can tell you the reason why you shouldn't sleep with someone is because of soul ties, for example. Yeah. And then they've done the work in terms of, cool, they might have experience. Forget even having experience because not everyone's gonna have the experience here. But they've just done the work in terms of some form of study, or they've gone a bit deeper than just the shallow kind of soul ties. And
so you understand it further.
Yeah, do you get what I'm saying? It's like, so I'll ask you like, what are soul ties? And you're just like, I don't know.
Soul ties.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, bro, like it falls down after the second question. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it's almost like, fam, you need to have done the work in terms of like Don't just be telling me stuff just because you heard it on Sunday. And all that kind
facts.
of stuff, like, in terms of application of the word and all that kind of stuff, like, show me, like, talk to me properly about this thing, innit? Like, how do I apply this thing and why? Why is it important for me? Because all of the things that the Bible tells you to do or not to do, even the stuff that's good, where it says like everything's permissible but not conducive sort of thing, it's not even always going to be a case where it's like, I can give you a direct, there's going to be certain things, it's like, fam, if you continue eating these things, even though it's not going to kill you tomorrow, like, in however many years, you might start getting all of these sicknesses and illnesses and all that kind of stuff, and it's all because of all of these processed foods that you're eating. It's not real food. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Eddie.
But yeah,
Hey, you're listening to Bible Babes and Banter.
Let's get into some testimonies. Every week we like to do testimonies.
Yeah.
God.
Kai, you're right.
Let's get into some testimonies.
You know so funny? He's trying to do the run-of-the-mill thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's so funny? I feel like every single time that I do the testimony thing, I'm always thinking, that was bro, you need to pre-record this thing, bro. Then put in the thing like that, bro. But yeah, let's get some testimonies. We like to do testimonies every week. Testimonies encourage faith. That's what we're trying to do here, man. So yeah, let's get it cracking. Let's to go first.
I'll go first. So this not too long ago, obviously it was Valentine's Day. And like, yeah, it was just like a nice little. So it is. I'm not someone that normally celebrates Valentine's Day, innit? But and I remember one time ago, I said something about how every day should be Valentine's Day. You know, I was like, so, but randomly, like I buy like gifts, do you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. In it, you do random acts of kindness and all that kind of stuff. My missus came back from holiday not too long ago. Got like cleaner to come clean up the yard. Got someone to come and do all the laundry, all that kind of stuff. Like, bought like a little teddy bear, Yankee candle.
That's nice.
And that was not Valentine's Day. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, but basically, like, I think one of the things that I was just praying, and I'm constantly praying about, is just like growing in love in my marriage, innit? And I felt like this year, even though like Valentine's Day is not something I normally do, it was like just the vibe, and obviously like spend time with close ones and all that kind of stuff. It was just like, I don't know, it just felt like it wasn't a gimmick. You get what I'm trying to say? It was just like real love. You get what I'm trying to say? And I just like that a lot. And I just thank God for that, because I feel like on other years, I've even had to make a point of, man, don't believe in Valentine's. So even if man was going to do something, it'll be on the next day, the 15th. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, it won't be on the 14th.
Why was that though? What is that?
Do you know what it is? I'm just a bit... You know, like, when I was young, I'm still trying to like iron the rest of it out of me, innit? But when I was younger, I used to go against the grain, innit?
Yeah, fair.
So rather than going with the current, I'm going against it, like in everything. Do you get?
Regardless,
if everyone says,
go left, you're going
Kendrick
right.
Lamar is sick, I'm like, cat. I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
even though you might hear it.
You know what I'm just saying?
Yeah, fair.
So it was a bit of that, but then also, I don't want to waste money on Valentine's Day just because they told me to, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's
Yeah,
funny.
fair.
I say though, thank God. I'll go next. So I remember just the other day now, I remember I was chatting to one of my brethren. We were just talking, and like, imagine there's a batch of different groups. Obviously, you've got different batches, different groups of friends in it, but there's one particular group. Like, you know, when you've known each other from young, you don't talk about what's life going to be like growing up. And then you actually grow up. And then you're seeing the group, and it's like, oh, so-and-so's married.
Yeah.
So-and-so, there's like 7, 9 kids like between everyone now. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, people have moved out, people are doing well, like Korea, people have moved countries. And it was just a moment of like, no, you know, thank God, you know. Like, thank God, one, that like the people that I spoke to about the future, they're still here, number one. Do you get me? And two, they're flourishing in what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? In life and family. Like, it was just a good moment, and I was proper grateful to God, because it's difficult, man, when if like, let's say there's a group of 10 of you and 8 of you are kind of moving on in life, but 2 of you are deciding that you're going to regress, you're going to move back, man, you're not going to try and move forward in life, boom, boom, boom. But everybody in some way, shape or form is progressing. Do you know what I mean? So for me, but I was just happy, man. It was like, it was just a nice feeling. So yeah, man, I thank God for that, man. I was grateful still.
I'll go next. Still, I posted something on TikTok the other day, and the engagement on it was a lot more than I anticipated, basically. And the post was like a promotional post, and the engagement has a direct correlation between like how my relationship with that company, basically, innit?
Yeah.
And the engagement, it kind of doesn't really make sense how good it was, because it was just like a normal like
just talking about
it's a normal sort of talking sort of video, innit? So that went very, very well, innit? And I'll see off of the back of that what can come off of the back of that.
Yeah.
And that was like the first sort of one that I've done, innit? As well. So yeah, man, I thank God for that.
No,
That's lit still. So what happens when you're operating in your divine purpose, man?
Is that where you slap the promo code?
Yeah.
Man, DM them still.
Oh, so, oh my God.
Yeah.
Sick still.
That's dope. My testimony, I feel like it's just been a blessed month. Like I think usually I found January to be a bit like reflective and it's like, everything, what am I doing? But I feel like God has given me a peace that it's just like, don't worry, like I've got you this year, you know what I'm saying? And I've just been sitting in that. So yeah, and I've been steadfast on my Bible every morning. So I feel like for me, it's just like one of those things that's proper nice.
Yeah.
I recently signed to a voice agent end of last
Jeez.
Congrats still.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. So and I like got my second audition now, which is it's like to do a West African accent. I was like, yeah, this is nice, man. Yeah, man. So I was able to record that yesterday, so now I'm gonna send off and God willing in it. But I'm just happy that I was able to get it.
Yeah. That's lit still.
That's lit. Yeah, grateful, man. Definitely.
Divine emails.
Yeah, man. And another email, in fact, I was telling email before. It's like ITV are doing an event in regards to sickle cell.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's gonna happen soon, and that should be dope.
That's lit still.
Thank God,
That's lit still.
Operating
your divine purpose.
Trust me, there'll be more divine emails, bro.
Amen.
Yeah. That's sick still. Oh, thank God, man.
You do indeed.
Calm. So, let's get into obviously, the fire round knows is coming.
The fire round.
Everyone, sit that anticipation. What are you doing? But cool, so, well, you know the game anyway.
Yeah.
So you pick an item,
Yeah.
and once you pick the item, you're going to have a minute.
So I get to pick the item, yeah?
No.
Okay.
You pick the item. I know you've been the item, pick the item, just now, bro. Well, yeah, we're going to pick an item, and then, you have 1 minute, and in that minute, you're going to create a sermon for that 1 minute. Do you know what I mean? So we're going to go, man. So who wants to go first?
You go first, isn't it?
Yeah, don't recommend me. I said you want to go first, innit?
You're the one
Because the last time.
No,
I'm just saying he should do the...
No, you might
do the example, innit? So he goes first, innit?
Don't recommend me in that, but I'll go, innit? I'll go. Yo. I'll pick an item.
You see the rubber band around that glass thing?
Try it. The one there in the corner.
This.
Rubber band's actually very decent though. No rubber band.
Yeah, no, it's not.
That's not rubber band.
No, it's that string.
Rubber band would have been decent though, innit? It would have been good.
Yeah.
That would have been a calm one. Yeah.
Back, your brick and break.
I definitely thought about that.
Whatever, man.
I thought about it, bro.
Cool, do that.
I wouldn't have said the stretching thing. That's crazy.
But I think that's the beauty of it though.
Yeah,
because it's like
Different
you
things.
think of,
Yeah.
I remember the one I did like it was Febreze in it, but there was that spray.
Yeah.
I was like, no, bro, the contents of the can is different from what it could be used for, like the spare things.
It works.
It's
ready. But you know, it's hard though, innit?
Yeah. Oh, that
never
one,
know.
they gave me 2 minutes to think of that, innit?
Yeah, I had it tight. Yeah, so the thing is, I got to read so I can actually get it. Because on the back it says something, and I was like, I use that as my server. I'll show you the video after.
See that? You see that head there, the clay thing?
The woman,
Yeah.
saw that like a statue.
That one's difficult to be fair, but
What's it? Yeah, I can do it though.
statue.
Yeah.
Alright, man. You know, in life, man, you can walk around. No matter what country you're from, there are different statues. You know, you go to West End now, you see so many statues. You can go and see Winston Churchill. You go to Cameroon, there's massive statues. You go to Brazil, there's massive statues. Everywhere you go, there's massive statues, innit? I feel like in life, man, people tend to idolize a lot of things. Like people look up and they see things in their life and they make things, statues and idols in their life, whether that be your life, whether that be your phone, whether that be your relationships. You make stuff your idol and your statue. Get me? But the only figure you should be looking up to is the cross. That should be the only figure that you set your eyes on. That should be the only figure that you bow down to. That should be the only figure that you put in front of you and trust you to lead the way. If you want, you can put the cross in your room, you can put the cross in your car, you can put the cross in your pocket. By the end of the day, where the cross needs to be is in your heart, needs to be in your mind, needs to be in your soul. You need to follow the cross and trust that God will see you through. Amen.
Jeez, man, I was selling still.
That's what I knew he was going to
But
say.
it's just the idol thing,
Idol thing still, yeah.
Yeah,
Fair
man.
enough.
Though. Makes sense. It makes sense, innit?
It's
I like the
good,
cross
still.
in your heart thing.
Yeah,
still.
I appreciate it, man.
You know, yeah, exactly. Score, you know.
Close your eyes as well. Who did that the other day? And I was so angry.
I saw that.
What for City?
Like,
no,
yeah.
not,
Diaz.
No, not was it
Oh, yeah,
Diaz?
Diaz.
Diaz.
Real Madrid.
And then he celebrated his
I was
belly.
like,
Yeah.
if you don't run around,
Yeah.
Fam, he didn't even play for them. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So much so, yeah. When he first said it,
man,
when he first said that,
leave,
I was
bro.
like, no,
Why is he
when he
doing that?
first-
Is it
I
fam?
don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm
Nah,
so fine. Leave it. All right, cool. Let's go next.
Chai, I'll go next.
Chai.
All right.
You said techie going after.
Chai, he's looking for something obscure, bruv.
No,
You gotta start bringing stuff in.
it's here. All right. There's a box of chewing gum, yeah. Wrigley's extra chewing gum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Alright.
decent.
3, 2, 1.
Every time in this life we look for quick fixes. Like we think about the now and the moment. We're not really thinking long term. We like instant gratification, innit?
Mm.
Same way like a chewing gum. Like you put a chewing gum in your mouth, it gives you like that temporary freshness. But after chewing the chewing gum for some time, not even a long time, maybe like 15 minutes or whatever, you're gonna need another one. And then you need another one until the chewing gum is actually completely finished. And then what? Now you're stuck with the problem, but there's no solution to the problem because we like quick fixes, not long-term fixes. And in this life, it's not even a fix, it's a necessity. And necessity doesn't even do it justice in terms of how much you need to be tapped in with God, because it's not a quick fix thing. We're talking about eternity beyond what we can see. So your relationship with God needs to be the foundation of your life in general. We can't look at things like your job, money, all of these things that are quick fixes. We need to be thinking eternal. We need to be thinking long-term. We need to be thinking about our relationship with God in that sense.
Amen.
Amen.
That was good stuff.
All right.
Yeah, well done, man.
Still. He's next.
I'll go still. Yeah, we'll give Alvin some time still.
So you got one?
Yeah.
Go on.
Plastic cup.
Plastic cup.
What? Oh no, plastic cup, man.
What do you
That
mean,
was-
bro? That's the
that
right
was-
time,
oh,
bro.
What? What can you say about plastic cup?
What did you give me the other day? What
Yeah,
was
but we're
it
not
again?
doing that today though. We're not doing
What did you
obscure
do
things
the other
today.
When it
We're
was
not
when
doing
Kenny
obscure
come on.
things today though.
Cup, you can do
straw,
cup, bro.
We've done a straw. A straw's alright though.
The straw was
Cup
crazy.
is calm still. I
The
can't
cup is
lie.
calm.
Cup is calm,
Alright,
bro.
cool.
My Hendo smart. I'm gonna.
I know, trust me.
He's doing that thing still.
You do that.
Give me something else then.
You do that.
Give me something else then. Give me something else then.
That's what you do.
Give me something. No.
No,
Hold
come
on.
on.
Hold
No,
on.
you
Give me something else.
I can't lie.
else.
Because he's had
What are you
time
doing,
now.
Bro, do you know what it is? You lot, I'm not feeling well. I'm not feeling well still.
Okay, now do
I'm not feeling well. I'm not feeling
What
well.
are you telling us,
So
bro?
what? So what, man?
No, I'm not
I'm not feeling well.
I
So I ain't got the energy I'm normally having it.
But what are you doing?
I played the sympathy card.
Nah.
Alright, listen.
I can't believe it.
Are you giving him something else?
No, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Give you the cup.
Cups,
Alright,
yeah,
let's do the
I'll
cup.
do it.
Cup is cup. Anyway. 3, 2, 1.
So, in life, some people have big cups. Some people have small cups. Listen. No,
I
listen.
paused it, by the way. So
Right. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
calm. But yeah, listen, now, in life, some people have big cups, some people have small cups, yeah. Now, the size of your cup normally, for us as humans, depends on our situation. Yeah? So sometimes in life, we're going through stuff, and because of that, we feel like we don't have the capacity to help others. We don't have the capacity to stand in the gap for others. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And that's because we have a very self-centric view of what our capacity is. Yeah? Now, imagine a situation, yeah, where you want to drink some water, but you feel like your cup is small, right? The difference between how, if we change our perspective, we'll realize that if we link up with God, then we've got a tap of ever-flowing water.
Mm.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? There will not be any season in which you do not have the capacity to pour into others.
Amen.
Fair enough.
Amen.
Fair enough.
Amen.
You brought it back still,
Fair
Kyle.
enough.
Amen.
Cheers.
Amen.
In the beginning, I was.
Cheers, guys.
Cool.
I'm not feeling well, innit? So.
Nah, me too, you know. Yeah, I've not let me coughing the whole thing.
No, bro.
When you listen to the episode back, you'll see me. I've been coughing, man.
Alright, cool. Wedding ring.
Wedding ring.
Wedding ring.
Sure.
Yeah, innit?
Fam, you know, I didn't want to.
Congrats on the wedding, bro. Congrats on the wedding, bro.
You can't do that, fam. That's why you got to take it off, fam. Alright, cool.
Wedding ring.
3, 2, 1.
I feel like the wedding ring is symbolic of marriage between a man and a woman. We all know going on the altar, saying your vows, and the exchange of the rings. And love to a woman or love to your partner is the same thing and the same love that we should have for God. It even says that we should love each other as Christ loved the church. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like in a church is where people get married. You and that. No, but as Christ of the church, innit? And I think what we need to do is find marriage with God. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a long-term relationship. And the thing about the beauty about the wedding ring is that it's never ending. So if you don't know, it's a circle. So regardless of whatever happens, our love for God should continue and remain to be never ending. We should be always reading our Bible, never ending. We should always be in tune, praying, never ending. And at the end of the day, the person that we should always find ourselves married to is the Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Hey, you brought it back still.
Yeah. I was going to say
Never ending still.
It was
good. Alright, still.
The next one's gonna be my last one though. I'm not gonna do this game again.
What are you talking about?
You got it still. Or bring items in.
Just me.
I like that you lot wearing a wedding. Do you lot wear your wedding ring everywhere, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't think it's like, I swear that's the norm.
To wear it.
Everywhere, yeah.
It should be. I don't think it is though.
The only place I don't wear it to is gym.
Fair.
Straight down.
No, you carrying weights with this on my finger. Fine, that's uncomfortable.
Don't you use gloves?
Yeah,
You carry
gloves.
weights.
No, but I use the gloves that stop hair.
Oh,
They don't.
fair.
Yeah, but they don't stop at the base of your finger, bro.
Yeah, go up to that hair, no?
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
still
I'll
uncomfortable.
take off my ring.
It's still uncomfortable, fam.
It's
You
not
carry
comfortable.
weights.
That hair.
What ring do you take off? Are you
When I get married,
No.
Why
When
would
a couple
you
of
shave
months.
it?
That's
Why
brilliant.
would you shave
Man,
it?
we
Oh,
can
couple of months.
I'm saying he's not wearing a ring. No, he said I take off my ring when I go to. What ring
I
I
would
would
take off my ring.
Oh,
Like, when did shaving did that?
Married cheap.
You know what? Someone can take that down. Start running.
Like, yes, you guys, this is what I'm talking about.
No, I thought it was a norm, but I realised like not a lot of like, they might pick and choose in it.
No,
But I'm very like, I don't know, from young I've always been attentive to wedding rings, you know.
For real?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like very attentive. Like I can see someone wearing it constantly. As soon as I see a picture, I'm like, why aren't they wearing a ring?
Oh, right.
Yeah, like I noticed
That's
it.
mine's
Even
kind of
yesterday, I
Seriously?
noticed like I don't feel so, but obviously there was a match for hope in it with
Yeah.
footballers in it. Well, the first thing I see when Chunks was celebrating is wearing a ring.
Ah, okay.
But like everyone's just gonna think, yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, this guy's done the
Yeah,
secret marriage thing. I hear it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, yeah. I like it, but
I
I
hear that
respect
still.
and I respect it when man and wear their
No,
ring.
for sure.
Yeah,
I think it's like,
I hear it still.
For sure.
I kind of see it like not baptism, but it's like a public declaration. As well.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
definitely.
it's symbolic in it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and I remember there's been times in the pod where I've clocked, oh right, like both of you have
Got
the
the
rings
rings,
on.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
obviously it's like you lot have gone first. Now it's
Yeah.
gonna be men. So now it's like, all right, cool. We've
Yeah,
just got
we're all gonna ring
the rings kind of thing.
Yeah.
innit?
That's
And then
not
what? You're just gonna have people with rings on.
They finish it
You're
with
welcome,
the
bro.
rings
You're welcome, bro.
What's man? I don't really clock it.
in. Lord of the Rings.
When I first started, when I first got married, I used to forget because I hate jewelry on my finger.
In general.
I've never wore rings, nothing.
Mm.
I used to hate the way it felt on my finger, bro. Like,
Swear.
so as soon as I get home from somewhere, I take it off.
Yeah,
is
That's
it?
Swear.
as soon as I get home. It's not even like I don't wait. I'll go upstairs, take off jewelry. Boom.
The time it used to affect me the most is going to sleep. I couldn't wear it to sleep.
You're just
Because
irritated.
it's,
Just used to it now, don't it?
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
now-
I'm more used to it. But still though, when I get home sometimes, if I'm at home for like 2 days straight,
Yeah.
I'll take it off.
Swear.
Yeah, if I'm at home for 2 days straight, I'll take it off.
No, I
still.
try to get used to it still.
I take it off. It's funny though as well, because at work now, I'll be on calls and I use my hands to talk there.
Yeah, so everyone's...
And everyone's like, oh, what? No ring today? I'm like, what? You're not married, bro. I'll show you the pictures. No.
That's bare cheeky.
Yeah,
That's
that's mad cheeky though.
real,
Yeah.
man. You know the way I'm looking, bro.
Sometimes-
Yeah, I'll run HR, bro.
What?
Yeah, attacking my marriage.
Bro, something happened the other day. Yeah, I'll show you the offline. Bro, I couldn't. It's like, everywhere I go, yeah. Let me not say that. We'll talk about
Whichever,
that.
yeah.
But I feel like people say things, I'm thinking, when you said this, yeah, did you think,
It was good.
there's a chance that this can be misconstrued in the wrong way? You know at work here, I'm not risky with my jokes with you. Do you get me? Like, they're flat jokes, normal kind of office banter. you get me? They don't, not too high, not too low.
Yeah.
Certain people, their jokes are so on the line. It's either so funny because of the line, or
it's just not.
It's just like, Wolf, read the room.
It's long still.
Defo.
It's long still.
But yes,
But no,
when them ones happen, I'd be like, sorry, say that again for the benefit of the tape.
I remember I had to actually, there was a time at work where there was a meeting going on and I've had to do the thing where someone said something that was kind of rude. So I've had to do the thing where I'm like, all right, guys, can we take a minute? Like, we just take this offline. Like, this is not part of this thing, innit? But I was so annoyed with myself, because I kept, when you're sharing the screen, so I'm sharing something on my screen and I can see people on the side. So I keep doing the thing where I keep looking over at them. I keep looking over at people's reaction. It's awkward, isn't it? But it's like, I can see myself here. Like,
looking at my camera going off in them scenarios, bro. My camera's going off. Bro, I'm hungry. I'm like, oh.
One of my colleagues messaged me like, WTF, like, question mark, like, what's going on? I was like, bro.
Oh my days.
Bro, do you know what's so mad? You know, when them things happen, and then two people are laughing because it's obvious that they're messaging each other.
Yeah.
And then when they thought that they were laughing on camera, then they're like,
that's the
trying to pattern themselves up.
Hey, funny. Our cameras stay off.
Crazy.
Oh, they stay off?
Yeah.
Fam.
No, I hear it still.
For real?
Yeah.
Nah, my company's...
Oh, no. I'm saying in them scenarios.
Oh. Yeah, fam, my camera's on every day.
Yeah,
there's not an off moment still.
But you don't buck up though as well, though, innit?
In what sense?
As like, in person and stuff like that. So sometimes when it's like, aren't in person.
Really.
It's also like a scrum principle.
Put on
face-to-face meetings, innit?
Yeah, at least put your things still.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So yeah. But yeah, man,
Makes sense, man.
Look, we got bro,
guest in the
got a
building.
special guest.
In the building.
You get me? Long time coming still.
Yeah,
word.
That's 20 minutes still.
Long time coming. We say we're gonna do this. We got our...
I think I'm feeling very honoured right now.
Nah, bro, listen.
wanted to be here for a minute.
Bro,
Honored to have you.
Yeah, we got our Netflix connoisseur.
You
get me?
Come on.
Thank God, man.
Multi-talented man in the building. Our go-to presenter. You get me?
Yes.
Shout out, bro, Alvin, man.
Come on, man.
Bro.
Thank you,
Welcome, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
And how you feeling, bro?
Feeling alright, man. Feeling blessed, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Generally, like I told you before, I'll say it on the pod as well, man.
Yeah.
Well, you man are cool.
No,
Big fan of you. I'm saying,
bro.
That's love,
still. I respect it, and I proper when you lot dropped it, and I saw people sharing, I was like, yeah, this is dope. Man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
I love for that
It's
still.
over 6 still.
I appreciate it, man.
Not to shade any other podcast, but it's like you're doing something different, innit? And you believe in what you're doing, and it's it's funny. You know what I'm saying, you have a variety of people, and you're living you're doing your best to live your truth, innit? That's what's dope.
No, I love
That's
that.
love still.
Thank
That's
you,
love
man.
still.
No, bro. Oh, bro, it's an honour, bro. What you trying to say? What you telling us all that? What's life saying lately?
Life. Do you know what it is? Life is just beautiful. That's the way to put it. Like, you go through ups and downs, innit? And I feel like, still about offline, but I went through something recently and it was just like, put that to the side and that. And it's like, you kind of just have to, it's mad because I feel like it's so easy for people to like start praying and read their Bible when things are going bad.
Yeah.
But it's like, I feel like I've been alright because I've been doing it when things are good.
Yeah.
So I'm just at a place where it's like remaining consistent and stored up. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like when you naturally dip into those moments where it's like, oh my God, like I need this, I need the answer. You just realize you realize that you just need to chill and take a seat back in it. So it's been alright. It's been a blessing. I've been so, it's weird because sometimes I get a bit, being in the creative industry I'm in, you can get a bit like, what's happening next? Or what's going to come from in it? But this January, I've just been like, yeah, man. Like I think I've done one job with Box Park. Like I hosted their awards. I was like, cool, man.
Yeah.
We wait for the next month. Obviously, February's come now. I've done the NFL with Ministry of Sound, which was dope.
Sick.
Yeah,
Sick.
So that was dope. And even from that, like people saw me host and was like, yo, can we book you for artists? I'm like, that's a blessing. And now I'm just like, do you know what I'm saying? Like trying to let God just lead and direct like the way I want to go. Do you know what I'm saying? With the intentions of like write it down and make it plain. Like I've done how I want my year to look. So now it's just like acting it, innit?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm really like, I feel like I'm at peace.
Yeah, that's good.
Like I was saying before, I want to go to the mountains, innit? So like, sometimes you just have to like be away, innit?
Yeah.
So I think that's my next aim, just take myself on a little solo trip. So I'm saying it really reflects, journal.
Actual mountains or like
No,
just
okay. A little cabin somewhere.
Where you going? There's
But to
mountains.
be fair, I'm going. There's mountains though. Like I'm planning on going somewhere else.
Yeah.
This is with Afro. Don't start talking about locations and that.
This is romantic. Start telling them you're going next year. You're going tomorrow.
But there's not. But it's just like, you know, it's just like mentally, innit? You just feel like you need to just to like get back to whatever you need to get back to and just come back aligned and focused. But yeah, man, how you man been though?
What's funny about the whole going to the mountain thing, I was even talking to my missus about it like last week about me just going away on a solo for like a weekend, just going somewhere and just like, it sounds kind of aff, but almost intense prayer and like just journaling.
That's me.
You get me? Prayer, journaling.
Have you man journaled before?
Yeah.
I've
not quite a lot, you know.
Not journaled in terms of a daily kind of journaling, but in terms of like writing things down that, okay, I say I want to do this, I want to boom, but not like a kind of daily practice.
Yeah, I had it. I had a journal because there was a year when I'd left work in it, so I was doing like photography, acting. So that year was like cool. That was like my quote unquote tough kind of time in it or whatever in it. So that year I was journaling there still, like pretty much like every day still. Yeah. And I still have the book till this day, which is so funny. But it's something that I want to kind of get back into as like and not make it as like rigid. And make it something that is like, oh yeah, I must do this thing.
Or you have to have something to write.
Exactly. Just let it be like a practice, innit? Because what I find is that whenever I've done it, bro, I'll be writing for like half an hour. And I'm just writing. Do you get what I mean? So there's stuff that is there to kind of just say and let out and kind of like put on paper or whatnot.
When you lot journal, what kind of things are you lot writing down?
Literally thoughts, you know? Literally thoughts still. And it can like, and what's mad as well is like, as I'm doing it, fam, certain times my handwriting is insane. In terms of my handwriting is like, it's like somebody's dragging me while I'm writing it. Do you get what I mean? But it's just like,
you're going bare fast.
Bro, I'm going bare fast. It's literally just like thoughts in it. Or it could be like stuff that, I could be like documenting what's happened. Or like just the way I'm feeling currently at that moment in time, innit? And what's sick about it is that you're able to look back at it. And I haven't looked back at my journal in some time. But what's funny is my first date with my missus, I journaled that day because we spoke about journaling on the date.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, let's go, whatever. We'll see what happens, bro.
That's mad.
Look at
it. So we know your first date, sorry. How quickly was it from when you first spoke to her? It was a couple of weeks, you know. But that's because she was off ends. But then I saw her like the week before, I think at WizKid. Okay, we had already. Yeah, of course.
Okay. I was told to do that as quick as possible, fam. In terms of that first date from
when you
from first year.
Yeah.
By like mandem or by.
But it came from a girl. You said it. But it was a girl that said it to you.
I remember.
That's a rule of thumb, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know, that wasn't really man's pattern before.
Yeah.
Like,
neither was mine as well. Still,
yeah. Like, we'll talk a bit first, and then if, do you know what I mean?
All that stuff is long.
I didn't really like.
You've been in.
So you try to get the
relationship longest, right?
Yeah.
Fair.
So
married longest, isn't it?
Yeah. So, my thing, fam, you're chatting to someone, fam, you gotta follow up. Don't waste your own time. Just find out if this thing is going anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Get on that date, see if like, fam, you can't speak for more than 5 minutes and just start looking at it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Or clock, like if you're not comfortable in silence with each other. Yeah. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, because, you know, fair enough, you want to put your best foot forward and impress and all that kind of stuff, but sometimes it's good to just let things happen naturally, man. Do you get?
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole journaling thing, it's not something I've done before still. Do you know what it is? It's not the way my mind works. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So my mind doesn't, when something happens, my mind doesn't think, how do I feel about this thing? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, I might think, oh, this is a sad thing. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But then it's almost like,
that's where the thoughts.
It's a sad thing. What do we have to do to get out of it? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's kind of, raw. Like, it's kind of like, very kind of, what's the solution oriented, basically, innit?
Yeah.
It's funny though, me and my missus were listening to a podcast yesterday about the mind, and he was basically saying that they asked him, do you believe in affirmations, innit? And he was like, you don't believe in affirmations. However, how the brain works is that you actually have to tell the brain to do things. Do you know what I mean? And your brain is very smart in that. Once you tell it to do things, its next thing is like, oh, how do we do that thing? Do you know what I mean? What's the way that we can like get to do this thing? So the more you do it, the more's on your mind, the more your brain actively seeks out a situation. Do you know what I mean? So there's certain words it hears now that it might not have paid attention to before. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, I didn't hear that in the conversation. How can that link to, do you know what I mean? So I say all that to say that one of his things was that journaling is a good way for your mind to
to just work.
To take things in, to break things down properly, to process things in a different way.
The only thing with that is that the way he's talking about is like your brain is a separate entity. So for me, my brain is me. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's not that my brain will then start thinking about it. No, I will start thinking about it. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
But you know, it's like it's his own living, it's his own living functioning part. It's almost like when people talk about your heart. It's like fair enough. Your heart does like if your heart's beating fast. Like my heart is beating fast.
And that was a bit different, I think.
And your brain has unconditioned responses, isn't it? So, for example, like there's danger things in your head. So like when you touch something hot, it's not you thinking about that it's hot. It just happens.
It's a reflex. That's a reflex.
It's an unconditioned response.
It's based on your brain.
It's an unconditioned response. It's nothing to do with any. Like,
I don't think so.
It's not your unconditioned response.
Do you know what it is?
Even when you're the fact that your brain's still working when you're sleeping.
I think my brain works differently.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
You've unlocked 40% of your brain.
I thought run your
No, do you know what it is? And it's magic because random times I'll think about my breathing, for example, like which is something that you do without thinking normally, innit? You guys just say something. He's like,
for example, your heart is beating. It's not
I do that as
your
well.
heart beat. Your brain is sending signals.
So like you might be breathing and you'll be thinking. You think about your breathing, you're like, right, let me slow my breathing down.
Yeah. So that happens, innit? But do you know what it is, yeah? Like, you see the whole, like, don't get twisted. My body works, innit? You get what I'm trying to say? Like, your heart beats, the central nervous system, all that kind of stuff is sending the signals down. Fair enough. Like, I'm not disputing that for a second. I'm just saying that when we actually talk about thinking, then I'm not talking about organs. When I talk about my heart, I'm not talking about my organ heart. I'm talking about my mind. Like, as in, when the Bible talks about your heart, it's talking about your mind, really. You get?
You also have an unconscious mind, though.
And your will.
You also have an unconscious mind, which you don't have control over per se, because you don't know what's going on in the background, innit?
Because then what might happen if you start journaling is that you might realize the things that are happening that are making you be solution-based. That you're not actually figuring out, which is what I realized, because I could be very much like, oh, this has happened, what's next? But sometimes when you sit down and actually either think about it or write about it, you realize like, well, the reason why a man did this is because I felt this way, which led to this and led to that. So it could work both ways. And sometimes it might just be about the day. Like one of my boys, he journals, but he will journal like maybe stuff about the week or something that's happening to you. So it's got, as much as he talks about his thoughts, we'll just talk about stuff that's
what's going on,
and then have his own kind of like perception of it or talk about it, which is interesting. And I thought
some people do audio as well. Some people do visuals or like they'll record themselves. Audio, they'll do a voice note to themselves. Basically, the same thing, but different format.
How do you lot feel like it's benefited you in journaling?
The thing is, I ain't done it a lot. It's something I want to do, but I think when I did a little bit in COVID. How do I feel like? Do you know what it is? I didn't do it for it to benefit me, but I feel like what does happen is that you can go back to it and be like, "Rah, like man's grown," or "Rah, I said I was gonna do this and I've done that." And sometimes it actually helps you in moments where you might want to like crash out. You just don't. Because it's like you've had time to write and reflect. And there's times I've written stuff down that I've wanted to say and realised, wow, this ain't that deep. And I've just been able to like park it.
Did you get it? For me, it's an outlet, innit? Like, or it was an outlet at the time, innit? Of, okay, cool, I'm going through this period, which is definitely something I've never experienced before. How am I actually feeling about these things? And the thing is, like, you know, like, someone might ask, like, why does it matter you understanding how you're feeling about this thing? It just helps you understand like yourself kind of a bit more, and it's just an outlet, because regardless of whether or not you speak about how something is making you feel, you're feeling it. So regardless of whether you want to talk about it or not, you're feeling it. This thing happens, I'm angry. You don't want to speak about how you're angry. You felt that feeling. Do you know what I mean? So what does that kind of look like?
So, and why did you get there?
Exactly. And how did you get there? And then fam,
anything go
it's peak still. It can be like and again, it's not one of those things where it's like, so it's, for example, like therapy, so I might be like, people have the view of therapy certain times that's like, all right, cool, that you do it and then, oh yeah, you're fixed, and then sometimes it's just not like that. It's just a good thing to kind of just, it's a good practice to kind of do it. And at certain times you might have that mad epiphany and whatever, but other times you might just not. It's just like, that's a good practice, isn't it?
No, fair.
What about you?
I don't do it. You know, really, I don't, as in...
But you want to, innit?
I want to go and do it. Do you know what I mean? But the way I've written down is like kind of just plans. Like things I want to do, like things, or like, I haven't really written down. What's so mad is that there was a time in secondary school, it was just one of those years where bare mad things were happening, like issues, like beef, boom, boom, girls, like there was just bare different things happening. I remember I was in my maths class and it was one of them lessons where my maths teacher weren't there. I was at the back. I just started writing what I was thinking. That's the first time I done it.
That's mad.
It's the first time I done it, bro. It was like a page and a half. And I've written, and then imagine like 15 years later or something. I've seen the book.
Oh, that's
It's like,
mad.
and I read it.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It was crazy, bro. It was so
juvie.
It was so funny. It was so funny. Like just reading it back.
Yeah.
But it's mad how I didn't realize I was as developed as I was in terms of my thinking back then. Do you know what I mean? You better think you're a kid. You don't really. Nah, bro. I was even like started to name a couple brethren that I was praying for. That I was like, God, God, that help so and so because they're getting through boom right now. Do you get me? And I guess what I didn't realize at the time is. Obviously, you don't really talk to mandem about it, but that's on my mind.
What's happening?
That's actually happening on my mind, and I'm writing it down. Do you know what I mean? It's funny because you're writing about a girl, you're like, oh God, like, what's...
What's she saying?
What should I be?
Yeah, like, what's she saying? That
make a man,
and
make
it's
a
funny. It's funny because I'm just writing this, and I didn't go back to it. I didn't look at it again. I didn't pay any mind. Do you know what I mean? I think I've been through it, but I can't remember. But it's fun reading it back.
And it's mad because even you reading it back, it puts you back in that place. So it's like it taps into like, raw, like I remember that.
Yeah, bro, I remember where I was, where I was sitting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've written prayers as well, actually. Certain times I'll actually write prayers. And I remember, I think it was last prayer and fasting while prayer was going on. My sister was on her notes, just I was like, what you kind of doing, innit? She was just writing sort of her prayers. Then I had done that a couple of sessions after as well. And it's like, bro, just writing your prayers. And it's just, I don't know what it does, innit? But it's just something about
I do hear it.
It's cool, like, it's
memorialize it.
Man.
Building altars, innit? So, you know, like, because I've heard, like, where I've heard journaling the most is like dreams. Do you get where they're like, oh, like, when you have a dream, wake up and write what happened in your dream. The thing is, though, I feel like, not, and I can't rely on it always, innit? But I've got good memory in it. So I've got dreams I've had like 2 years ago, where
still vividly remember.
Bro, I vividly remember the dream, bro. I've got like a few that I was talking to people about, sort of thing. Like, bro, I remember them dreams vividly. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like everything that happened on it, all that kind of stuff. So I do hear that. I hear the journaling thing. I guess for me, it's just that time is all on it. But yeah, I definitely wanna just explore. Do you know what I did the other day? Just because I was saying like, listen, I just need to get back into written study notes. You know when you type certain things, I don't think you memorialize it the same way as when you write it out with your hand in it. So I downloaded like 5 different notes apps on my iPad with the Apple Pencil. I'm bro, I'm gonna go crazy. I ain't opened one of them yet, but we're heading in that direction.
Let me know the apps as well. Actually, I want to get.
Our
boy, he journals on his iPad still, but he actually writes.
Yeah, exactly. I just think I need to move away, bro. The maddest thing is before that, I just bought bare actual physical notepads. And then when I actually started, like, and I bought bare different colour pens, I want to highlight this and I want to go ham in it. But then when I actually thought about it, I was just like, fam, practically, like, storing this stuff is just, it's like, it just doesn't make sense.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad though. You know what is it like? You have to actually be intentional about it. Because you had
bare stuff.
But it's like,
you get what I'm saying?
But it's like,
my room is bursting at the seams, bro. Like,
but it's funny because I think I was watching I don't know if you know of Myron Golden, innit? He's someone that does like these sermons, or not even sermons, but he just talks like based on faith, innit? And he was doing this thing about like productivity, innit? Based on like Genesis and stuff, and it was like, well, it's Mike, obviously you went to go and buy these things that was like your intention, but then like the next thing that follows intention is like initiation, which is the doing. Then after that, something's gonna happen that will make you stop, but you have to just bounce off all these things to actually get there. So obviously that there's possibly a way where you can actually probably sit down and write those books.
So do you know what it is? The thing is, like, I've got bare different things I want to do in it. So one of them is like continuous like development. So like learning and stuff like that. So what I've actually used those notepads for and what I got them for initially, one I got that has like different sections so I can do like book studies and that's Bible. But then there was another about learning in terms of just like skills in life and like different courses and all that. So one of them I've actually started writing in that kind of stuff in it, but
it's hard.
Yeah. But then
I hear it still.
Work started working.
So that's what it is, isn't it? That's what it is. No. But yeah. I think the next thing I was going to say as well was like, obviously you was mentioning how like, it's good to write things down, innit? I feel like, I don't know about you lot, but do you use ChatGPT?
Yeah.
No, I feel like, the thing is, I feel like it's actually, it's proper sick. But it's peak.
It is extremely peak.
What is peak? Because critical thinking now.
You
don't really need to think about things because
you're shutting that part of your brain down.
Like, you can just ask. but it gives you everything.
Yeah.
But I realise as well, there's ways you can ask it, but you're actually learning it. So it kind of opens
the
up.
prompt to speak still.
It's
Yeah.
nuts.
It's key
Like,
in terms of what you get back.
So
from.
yeah, but I was just gonna say that. Yeah, it's not. What's
it's
happening there?
Yeah,
But I use it for Bible. I use it like when I'm reading my Bible. You know.
Also,
Something I don't understand. I slap in a verse and
just so mad. We spoke
breaks
about
it
this
down.
the other day, yeah, and it was kind of like, so that in certain instances, fair enough, we hear it, yeah, but it's like what, like the overarching thing was like the way that we should be reading the word, yeah, and trying to study the word is like reading all the different versions,
yeah.
and then almost like when we still don't get it, it's like ask the Holy Spirit,
Yeah.
kind of sit in that for a bit, yeah. Because the thing is, yeah, you know, when you go to ChatGPT, yeah, it's kind of like reading the commentary. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So everything is opinion based to a certain
Do
degree.
you think so?
Yeah, man. Do you know what it is? Like, for the fact that two people can write the exact same prompt on their ChatGPT and get a different answer.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's
Yeah.
because there's multiple perspectives.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? And it depends on the sources that obviously it's like a enhanced Google search for me anyway. That's how I see it. innit?
Basically, though.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? So sometimes it's like there's certain commentaries. So for example, you know these guys are always referencing Calvinism and all that kind of stuff, but there's certain commentaries there that's like the guy's a Calvinist. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So he feels that. So the guy feels like everything is
it's a certain way. Yeah.
everything's a certain way, yeah. And then when it comes to like the spirituality side of things, he thinks like it's sensationalism and all that kind of stuff, yeah. And then that means that we're not getting especially with, so one thing that we spoke about was the fact that, like, right, in certain Bibles, yeah, so for example, in like the NLT and the NIV, all that kind of stuff, yeah, you know that verse where it talks about, like, oh, like, how comes you couldn't cast out this demon? It's like, oh, but this one only comes out by prayer and fasting.
Yeah.
It's missing in all of them ones, but it's in the KJV and it's in the NKJV. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's almost like if I'm reading the commentary
the
for
whole verse
that,
is missing, or just
the whole verse is missing.
Oh,
And there's multiple verses that are just missing in them translations, innit? And like, yeah,
I know what
that's
you
just,
mean.
we're gonna go into a whole different tangent if I go too far down that road,
Right.
yeah. But the point I'm trying to make it is just like, it's almost like I feel like God wants to speak to us directly as well.
Yeah,
Do you
definitely,
get what I'm trying to say? And like sometimes that's why we should try and keep that kind of one-to-one with the word, word which is God, and
then
word was with God, and you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
No, it's-
but it's like,
I want to add, because I don't want us to
but
stay
I'm
on
not
this
saying,
for very long.
but at the same time, yeah, like the same way, even when we do study, like, so for example, when I was studying and we were talking about Joseph, and he was talking about the stuff that Jacob told him to take to Egypt, yeah, like the myrrh and all that kind of stuff, like, bro, all of that was from Googling and understanding, like, cool, what is this thing?
Why is this
Like,
important?
you get what I'm trying to say? Like, why is balm significant or symbolic and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Back then, what did they use it for?
Yeah.
ChatGPT will be amazing.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Bro, that's just on it very quickly, yeah, because even the commentary stuff, it's almost like, you know, when like the most evil people in the world also spoke truth. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like, even people you disagree with, yeah,
can blend.
there could be something you can take from what they've said. Because even me, when I'm reading certain commentaries, I know that this person who's written this, we don't really agree
completely
that on our theology in terms of the Bible and stuff, innit? However, they said something relatively useful, innit? So I would still take what they've said as useful, but with the mind that I don't agree with that second part.
Definitely.
That first part is useful. And then what someone else says, someone that I actually agree with, we have the same stance, I don't actually agree with what you just said here. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And it's kind of like,
it's supplementary, it's not your foundation.
it's not my foundation, but
you don't rely on it.
You
And
take bits and pieces from things, and like you said,
Especially with things you watch as well.
big ones.
Yeah, I think things you watch. But I think my biggest thing now is like going back to the word, innit? Like, certain people that know how to say good things, or they can take like the top line of the verse and then try blend it. But then sometimes you have to like for yourself, like read like
Principle of the
context,
next verse and
principles, like what does this mean to you? And I think even with ChatGPT as well, like it can do that to a degree where it's like it can break certain things down. But then it's like you still obviously got to pray and obviously see what the Holy Spirit can do yourself in it. But
I definitely think,
man, I even prayed over, man. I can't lie. I said, God, look, if I'm going to use this thing, find a way to use it.
Word. I think, do you know what it is, where I've used it in the wrong way as well, intentionally, and I've seen it like heresy, bro. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, as in, like, I'll be like, give me a verse that says X, Y, Z, basically, and then it'll give me a verse, and the verse doesn't say it. The verse doesn't say it, but you can spin it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And it's like, do you know what it is as well? Yeah, it's because of the fact that. And the reason why stuff like this kind of exists...
That's why yours might start moving nuts still.
That's why I can't trust mine. I can't trust your thing still. Your thing's like, oh, does he mean this? But algorithm messed up, bro. But yeah,
no, you're not. No, your name down.
So yeah, for this one, vet exegesis. But yeah, like it's anyway, man. It's like it's just one of those things to be like
be
aware
wary
of, innit?
Definitely. For sure. Definitely. I feel like he's gonna ask something.
Yeah, I was, bro. No, it is. I was just gonna actually get into just because when I've seen you about, first time was just on socials. Like, I feel like you were just like a common face. Like,
big clash.
Big fair. Like, I feel like any things with I can't explain it, but like presenting stuff. I was just kind of
online.
You were about, bro. You've been about
for a long
minute, bro.
Don't remind me.
No, but it's good, bro. You know what it is. One thing I always talk about is I always trust people more when I can see their foundation. And what you've done. Do you get me? When I've seen people
and the continuity,
and that people are built up. It's like, I kind of trust what they're doing a bit more than someone just pops up one. Hey, listen, everyone to their own though.
Yeah, definitely.
But when someone just pops up and I'm like,
because I've done it.
Yeah, you've done it. Do you get me? It's like it's kind of you're tried, you're tested. Do you get me? Really,
and
really.
it's apparent you got a grace for it, man.
Yeah, fam, for real, bro. It's so, bro. It's so obvious in your personality.
Appreciate it, man.
Do you get me? Even the way you come across. Do you get me? But where would you say like it started? Because I think the first thing I saw you doing is like presenting.
Yeah,
do you get me?
That's mad.
Yeah. So when you say that
presenting weren't even the first thing I was doing. So the first thing I was doing was acting in it. So obviously, it all stemmed from like young. So I was acting. My Nigerian parents in it. I remember I was meant to do a play in it. What was the name of it? Bugsy Malone, and I was Bugsy.
Yeah.
So, but the day we was performing to like all these like agents and outside of school was on the day I had school. My dad said, wrap it up. Wrap it up. I was getting ready to go there. My dad said, wrap it up. I remember ironing my jumper like myth. So I remember going to school. And then imagine I got to school now and my teacher shouted at me for being in school. So it was like, like my dad told me to, you know what I'm saying? So I remember that I was done at there. But I kept acting here and there, you know what I'm saying? I kept doing my thing. College, I was acting as well. Then around college, and like my church youth group and stuff, like what we was doing at the time, me and my boy, biggest pause, but we used to be called Itchy and Scratchy, innit? Based on the cartoon, though, innit? Well, it's based on the cartoon because we always used to have these like dumb arguments. So it was just like cat and dog kind of thing, innit? And we, like the church had like a radio station at the time, innit? So we used to just do that, just used to do that on our sides. Just talk about like certain things and then bring it to God and all those kind of things while I was acting as well. So then that's when it kind of picked up. Then I did a show on YouTube called A.Hyphen Kids. So I was on YouTube, but I was young them times. So I did that.
Old school.
So that was time. So I did that, and then that kind of blew. But as I was doing that, I was hosting with my boy Sean. So that used to be called Uncle and Mistar. And that was time, and this all started like when I was 16, 17. So I was just doing juggling. I just loved performing, innit? Then I think when people clocked, when I started presenting a lot more was when I got to uni. So obviously, and again now, I got into drama school. Me and my dad have had this argument. But I love my dad, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, he was just like, no, like, how are you going to graduate from this? Like, it's not a degree kind of thing. I was a bit young, you know what I'm saying? I think there was a few things. Ultimately, I feel like God was just helping me in it. Sometimes I think, if I went drama school then, where would I have tapped in or what would I have tapped into? Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I'm always kind of grateful. But I got into drama school, but I didn't go. So I ended up going uni. And I think I was so rebellious but upset that I just ended up doing marketing and multimedia. So I just went uni and studied that. So I was just doing that. But as I was doing that, I was still presenting because I just thought it's easy. And I was getting paid from it from early. So as I was in uni now, ACS, so that's when I've started hosting more. So everyone's like, oh, rah. People have clocked me. But I remember on the way to uni, like I was in second year, a girl in first year, she seen me on the bus, she was like, oh, you did A.Hyphen Kids, right? And I was like, I'm feeling myself, man. Oh, you want to say,
you're the side of breast.
You know what?
I heard breast.
No, he's mad.
You know, back in the day, he's not saying back.
I know that. You're hilarious. That is funny. But,
God forbid I don't have it, but sometimes it's like Tourette's, bro.
No, that was funny, but I was like, bro, I was again, innit? And obviously, I went uni in London. I just went Roehampton. Cause I didn't really know about unis. I just knew about drama school. I always knew about just acting. So when it was now, I just thought, cool. I think one of my boys was going there. So what you going in Roehampton? I'll come open it with you. Went with him. I was like, yeah, this is fun. I was like, what's creative? Market, I'll do that. So that's where my head was at, innit? But then from there, started hosting. So I was really getting into like my hosting bag, started doing events. And it was interesting because I feel like I was taking things I learned from obviously acting and drama and dance, and I was just making it my personality on stage as well, innit?
It's performance,
so it's performance. So one thing that I always felt like I had an edge against like other presenters or hosts is that not a lot of them knew how to dance, or they didn't really know how to perform. They knew how to like do the job, but they didn't know how to like, if something happened, could they run a poem? Could they run a little spoken word? Could they do this? And I always felt like I had that. So then but then I started battling between like being an actor and a presenter, because I think what started to happen is people was like, oh, you don't act no more. Oh, you don't present no more. And it's just like oh, I want to do both. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think now I'm just very content and comfortable in like, one, trying new things as well. I feel like I realize as we get older, we're just like, you can't be doing too many things. But do you know what it's like? There's bare people, especially like even Caucasian people, who are just doing what they like. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like they're having fun, innit? And a lot of the younger generation are doing that as well. You see them make tons of content, they're going to work, they're doing this, they've done that. But I think I became comfortable in realizing that, yo, I'm a performer. I act, I can act, I present, I host. And obviously like sickle cell advocacy, innit? Like that came a lot down the line. But I could do that, and I could do graphic design, I could edit. So even like my own like YouTube videos that I've done in the past, I edited them, done all the graphics, and I had to use. So it's like, I guess it just stemmed from there. So it was always acting first. Then I started presenting, hosting. Big Clash came about, was doing that. That was dope. And then obviously just online stuff. So I went to Julie, which was sick. And it's just been like, it's just been a nice balance of just doing the things, innit? I feel like acting was, I think I love acting so much, I always kept it close to my heart. You might feel this way sometimes. It's like, it's one of those things you really want to do, but you don't want to, it's like, you just don't want to do anything kind of thing sometimes. And it's like, for me at the time, it was like that basically. So not a lot of people knew. I had done jobs, but I wouldn't promote it that much. I'm not there yet. It's whatever, but obviously presenting that, everyone would
you see
you see it out there.
Especially because that's more part of the culture as well.
Exactly.
You are there like doing cultural events as well.
And that's what it is. Exactly. Whereas with acting, it's like, unless you go to the play or you act, you're not going to know that my man did that thing.
It's more of a knock-on effect as well, in terms of the presenting as well, innit? So it's like there's bare stuff that is happening. Or you could be like attached to a particular brand, for example, and they're doing the events. Obviously with acting, it's like, you get the job, or you don't get the job, and then there might be like bare silence up until the next job and stuff like that.
Literally that. So you get and you become the face of something. They just know you for that, and it's the consistency in it. Like acting, not at the stage where I'm just consistently doing it, and even now, I feel like it's probably gonna get harder because I'm like way more steadfast in who I am and what I want to do in it. So I know that I'm gonna be turning down certain roles that I know they're gonna want me to do in it. Because even like when I bought Supercell,
cheese
for Netflix.
It's not a benign.
Don't just drop that. Don't just. I don't Supercell, bro.
But even let's just finish off on that one point though, in terms of like turning down things that, like, because of where you are now, like you're not gonna want to do yet. Like, have you been faced with that kind of challenge before?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I've been faced with it.
And what was that? What was the vibe like? How did you feel about it? Was it like? Did you kind of like mourn the opportunity?
50-50, but not really, innit?
Okay.
So, obviously it was a massive play at the West End. Like, wanted me to audition for it and that. And but the role they wanted me for was a particular role, innit?
I think I know. I don't know.
I have to be all this open and transparent. Forget still. I clocked it.
Not for illegal documents.
I don't even know if it was at the West End. I think it might have been anywhere. Few places in it, but no, it was just
split screen.
And it was just a particular role in it. There were other roles and stuff in it, and I just turned to my agent. I was like, no, like I don't want to do a show in it. It goes against my faith. It goes against like how I want to be perceived as well on stage and when I do these jobs in it. And it was mad because it was met with a bit of backlash from agent at the time. It was just like, but he turned around and was like, "Oh, so what, would you play a murderer? Would you play da-da-da? Would you play these things?" And I just thought, if you're comparing like, I guess what people identify as to a murderer or rapist, that doesn't make sense to me. And it's like, even to play a murderer or rapist, I don't want to just play them if it doesn't serve a certain story of progression.
What happens?
Do you know what I'm saying? What happens?
What's it about?
So I just had to put my foot and be like, yo, no, do you know what I'm saying? Like this, innit? So, I've been met with it before. Not bears where it's like, all right,
of course.
I think the only other thing that I've been a lot more convicted recently has been swearing in as an actor. So I don't really swear like per se, but in terms of acting, it's like I'm just a bit like I'm still praying on that one. But it's just been like, I think, but I've always been from school. We kind of learned like you don't need to swear if it doesn't serve the story, innit? And I think that's what I'm realizing more. It's like sometimes, especially in like UK shows, they just throw it in.
Sometimes when I watch UK shows, I'm thinking, who?
But you know what it is though.
It's the same thing as the Nollywood movies. You know the Nollywood movies, to show that someone's bad, you have to smoke cigarettes. You get? So it's the same thing. Like they're trying to show you.
Surely, you know what it is though. Ain't there people in the room that are actually from ends that are like, bro, we don't actually chat like this.
You'll clock it as well. Their stuff is improv as well.
Yeah,
I think in terms of like your go-to, for example, if I'm improv in certain times, it's easier to just do the like default London. Definitely not. If you're like, for example, if you're playing a gangster or whatever, if you're doing the improv thing, it's probably easy to go there. That's like a go-to. If like a director doesn't say to you,
I just got a bitch.
It's bare like, you said
just swear, you just swear, man. Just swear.
If there's not somebody like, if the director's telling you, no,
you don't need to do that.
You might not actually realize it until it's come out. Yeah, definitely. Like, why did I? You get what I mean? Like when I'm watching bare the UK stuff, certain times I'm thinking,
some of it's definitely improv.
Like definitely improvised.
Some of it's definitely improv, but it's also being written into a lot of scripts, because it's just like you say, it becomes a language, innit? They just write it in. But now I'm just trying to just be a bit more intentional in that section, like that sector as well.
Oh, no, fair still.
Are you still with that agent?
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, just about anyway.
But you know what it is? You know what it is though? I always think it's important with anyone, bro. There's people that you work with very closely that you kind of have to draw your boundaries.
Yeah,
you get me? Because
and that's what it was.
No one's gonna know your boundaries straight away. Like obviously with us, man, now we've grown up in similar settings. We get our cultural context.
Yeah.
So we kind of know what not to say, what to say, how to move. Do you get me? But with other people, bro, you got to literally draw your boundaries, innit?
Yeah, definitely.
And sometimes with a clash, some people just accept it. It's just like, all right, man. Now it's drawn. It's drawn. And we move forward, innit?
And especially for them, it's like, because of that, they don't understand that for them, it just looks like an opportunity, innit? It's greater than just the opportunity. It's an opportunity, but then there's also things that are greater than that. For them, bro, they're like, bro, like, what the hell? Why not?
Money's on the table.
This is the hustle.
Yeah, man.
But then, so in terms of like Supercell,
hey,
because Joy is on so many levels.
We have to.
Because obviously I didn't know you was in it, so I just watched it. I'm like, oh shit, Alvin.
I think man just saw a bandana hanging from your
But on so many levels, that thing was sick, bro. In terms of like the whole Supercell concept, in terms of like a different, like a whole different viewpoint. Like on sickle cell as a whole, and then even in terms of involvement of people who do have sickle cell, people that have lived that experience. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I think, but just talk about how did that come about?
Through my agent as well.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, so
also,
like, so it's like, so he they just got sent to me and it was like, oh, Alvin, like, here's that. So more time you just get an email with the audition and your agent might call you, be like, hey, I just dropped your email, here it is, innit? So I saw it and I saw it was like Supercell, saw Rap Man, so I thought, wow, cool. But at the time, your script is limited to a page. It's a page or 2 pages, innit? So obviously I just had like the script of what they wanted me to do. So I didn't really know much. I even much, didn't know much. Bro. But I know that when Rapman was talking about it, just like it's a superhero thing, innit? But I don't think anyone really knew that it was going to be about sickle cell. Neither did I. So even when I done the tape, I was in a point in my life as well where I was just like, oh God, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I need something at this point, innit? We can get into that specifically later, but it's like, it was hard, innit? Because so I done the tape, I done like 3 takes, and I said, look, this is done, I'm sending it off. Send it off. Didn't hear back nothing for a week, 2 weeks. By the 3rd week, like, you think, I ain't got it. So we move in it. The 4th week, like, it was like 2 weeks before my birthday, I had just booked a flight for my 30th, innit? So I was gonna go. My agent called me like maybe a day after I've booked it. It's like, yo, hey Alvin, how are you? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. It's like, yeah, I don't know if you remember the audition you did for Supercell, but you've got the role in it. So I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you got the role, but they need you on set for next week. So that's fine.
Yeah, of course.
That's fine. I'll be there.
Cancel everything. We'll cancel everything.
Like, yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, it's like, yeah, okay, cool. And yeah, I just remember like, obviously I got on my knees, I prayed. I was like, oh God, like I'm thankful, I'm grateful in it. I had a conviction, obviously, 'cause I swear in it, innit? And I was just like, ooh. But I also thought, do you know what, the character, role of my life, you know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. And we shot it back in 2022. So obviously I know it came out last year, but we shot it 2 years before. But yeah, man, it was a blessing. So obviously after that now, bro, by next week I called up, I changed my flight and everything. And then before I knew it, I was doing, I was getting ready to go on set. So doing costume. I had the costume meeting, all these check-ins. Then I remember, I think it was like my first day on set, I saw someone who's a very popular blood donor. She was there, but she was also Ratman's PA. She was like, oh, I'm glad to see you here, man. Like, this is amazing. Like, when you realise what's going on here, you're going to be like, you're going to be shocked. So I was like, bro, like, what's she talking about? She's like, no, like, trust me, man. Like,
she's trying to let out.
She's out the bag, bro. She's like, but don't, like, you'll find out. I remember on one of the other days, like, so on the day you're shooting, they give you like the scripts of like maybe everything that's happening that day, innit? And I was just reading through it, and I saw that the mum was going to the sickle cell centre. And I said, no. Fairs. And then I was in the affairs. And then in that now, I just felt like this is bigger than me. I was grateful. I was like, right, I've got sickle cell. I didn't book this because I have sickle cell. I booked it based on my talent. But what a blessing to have sickle cell and be something that relates to sickle cell. I know that I have to play the person who's in pain. Play the person who's having, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I get to just play a character. Do you know what I'm saying? And I really was just like, I was just grateful for that. And I was just like, this is dope. But yeah, that's how it came about. And that's how it felt and moved. And it was dope,
that's lit still.
Can't lie, man. I was getting picked up. I wanted to vlog everything in it. I think I did, didn't it? I got the visuals, I got clips, but it's mad because it's like, you know, they'll text you the night before, like, yeah, your car's coming to pick you up at 6 or 4. You know what I'm saying? You're getting into a car. Not no. Now they get Priuses and that, but getting in some BMs and that, and it's like, they take you, and it's just like, you feel really blessed.
It's like you're actively doing what you want, innit?
Exactly. I'm saying,
you're around it. You're in the mix.
Literally
walking in your purpose.
Yeah, feeling still.
You know, am I saying, in terms of like, so obviously you've gone there, you've done your thing, it's come out and all that kind of stuff. Like, when it came out, how did you feel about it?
When it came out, you know, it's because it was such a long time coming, like, you forget about it. So like, I feel like for the whole of 2023, I knew it was coming, but I just had to forget about it. So I just did other jobs, like, did a play, doing all these things. And I think when you realise now, so I think the time it hit me was when I was, just before I went Nige, I got an email saying like, oh, we're gonna have the casting crew screening.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, it's coming out. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, so now I'm getting a bit excited. I'm just like, cool. So obviously they invite you to the screening. So now the next thing is you just want to see what you look like. I need to see love. Like,
now
what take did they use, bro?
You want to see what take they use, what bits they use, like, what did I say? How did I look? Like, do I look okay? Like, am I gonna look? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think, just sitting there, I was just like, wow, like, man's on the screen. I was just like, wow, on the screen. And it's like, it does stir a type of hunger in you, to want more. And do you know what I'm saying? And to want more, to want it bigger, innit? Just in a way that you know and we know that can obviously hopefully glorify God eventually. Obviously in a moment it's like, yo, this is lit and stuff, innit? But it's like, naturally it's like, do you know what? This is a talent that I believe God's given me, innit? So let's use it to...
But the thing is, you know, even the way the series panned out, that first season, it was like, it wasn't revealed that it was about Supercell until like later on in the later episodes and that. Like, so obviously, like, and I don't want to jump ahead yet, but is that part of like your motivation for then becoming a sickle cell advocate, or was it something in the pipeline from before that? Yeah, so I started before I got Supercell. Okay. So I started before, but I wasn't doing it as much. So here's the thing. So obviously, I think I always wanted to, but I wanted to be quote unquote known first, or like famous first, or like do my sickle cell speech while I was on stage picking up an award, innit? Then, but in between like life, I ended up like, I nearly had a near-death experience, innit? Okay. So there was a year, like a Christmas, where I nearly had a cardiac arrest. Yeah, so I spoke about it briefly on Insta. And so then for me, like, my life was like, bro, like, God kept me here for a reason. But as the mandem thing is like, I don't want no one to pity me, so I didn't speak about it for time.
as I kept going, I knew what I wanted to do in terms of like just knowing that I have this like I'm building up like a hub for people who have sickle cell and all that stuff. But I just wanted that to be later. And one time I was just like, you know, I need to start speaking about it because God forbid, you know what I'm saying? Like the time is now, and like the essence, time is of the essence kind of thing. So first time I ever spoke about it was on it was 90 Baby's live show. Just in the live show, innit? And I spoke about it. My friend just forced me, and that was like 2019.
Okay.
So that was the first time. Then because of that, I got invited to do a panel at a corporate company. So I spoke there, and I was like, okay, cool. This is I'm able to speak from a man's perspective. He hasn't really spoke about it before. So that's where it kind of started. Doing bits here and there, but again, I was still quiet with it. So like, if you knew, you knew. If you followed me, you might get a hint. Then I think while I was filming, I just naturally, I feel like I was like, I need to just step up my game in it. Because I was doing it before, but I knew how to speak about sickle cell without making it too personal. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because I knew how to speak about, like, oh yeah, people have this and do the outreach, but I never really made it personal about me in it. And I feel like now it's probably a bit of both, innit? I think there is elements where it's come out now, a lot more people are speaking about it. So I can put a perspective that I have, especially, and I feel like a lot of the time I realize that my perspective does come based on faith, innit? Because I feel like my faith has helped me remain, do you know what I'm saying? Like, even though I've been through crisis, that I know the bigger picture, innit? And that the way my testimony is going to come, or like the way when I speak about things, everyone's going to be like, "Bro, I didn't know he was dealing with this, but this is what kept him through," innit? And then people can come and be like, "Bro, like what? So God really helped you with that?" And I can talk, and that's my aim, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm still getting there because it's a very vulnerable thing to do, especially with some of the things I've been through, but it's happening, innit? You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately it's like, there's a bigger goal in it.
When did you know you had sickle cell?
From birth still.
From birth, so you knew from early,
so like, well, I say from birth, but obviously like, maybe like when I was about 4, 5,
4,
6. Because I remember from early, I used to like have really like here and there crisis. Like, I remember vividly being picked up from school, taken to hospital because I was in pain or I had a checkup, I had an appointment. So I knew from quite young, from young. Because that's also when the doctor told me like, oh, like people with sickle cell don't really have long to live. Like, you know, the shortest is like 16, 18, which is what I remember hearing. I remember that scaring me. I was like, what, 16, 18, innit? And they're like, well, people can go up to like 40, 50. And I thought, even that's not long. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, raw, like, so that's when I found out, innit? And being in a Nigerian household as well, actually, it's like, sometimes having an illness could be a taboo to speak about. So you don't really speak about it. And obviously my parents were of faith from early, so it was always like, you're healed, you're blessed, it's okay kind of thing, innit? So I never felt the need to speak about it. I didn't want people to pity me being a man, being the eldest, of course. You know what I'm saying? So all these things kind of also played into
I'm glad you're articulating this because I feel like this is the same like that a lot of people experience, but they don't know how to articulate it in terms of like not looking for pity and all that kind of stuff. So that's the reason why we don't talk about certain things. If someone's like coming into a situation fresh now and like they've heard of sickle cell but they don't really know about it, how would you describe it to that person?
Oh, that's Do you know what? I feel like it's weird because I've never known how to describe what it's like, the pain. But I just like it's painful in it. But there was a talk I was in before, and a woman who's had a baby says that her sickle cell crisis was worse than her pregnancy. So that would put into a perspective of like, right, this is worse than childbirth. And obviously, childbirth is seen as one of the most painful things. So I would always say it's just painful, innit? But it's not just pain. Like, I feel like as I've grown up, I've realised like there was a lot of mental battles I had to deal with. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of obviously the physical pain, and then there's other things that happen. So like organ damage, organ failure, you have a weak immune system, all these things. So I'll just say like my best, like for me, I'll tell them like, yo, I'm in excruciating pain. And when I'm having a crisis, like you might not know. So I could be here chilling, knowing I'm in pain, but there's certain things I might do. So like if I start massaging someone, if I'm just chilling like this, but I'm doing this, like that's because there's pain and I'm massaging it. And then some of my friends know that now, so they will see it and just be like, cool. But for some people, I might just be chilling like this and just it might be a comfort thing, but I might just be massaging. And I've always said like talk to people who have it because then you know how they deal with it. Because one thing I've realized is always like sickle cell's not linear, innit? Just like life isn't. So the way I deal with it, someone else might not, and someone else might need immediate response. But in terms of just explaining it, I'll just say like it is like obviously sickle cell is like it's a crescent shaped cell. So it doesn't carry around oxygen, it gets sticky, it gets thing, and it basically
Clogs
clogs up in the joints, which will cause excruciating pain because you essentially it's no blood flow. Like blood isn't flowing well. So there's no oxygen going around, so you're also becoming breathless. Which is just a lot of pain. You know what I'm saying? And like that's pretty much. I'll just say it's excruciating. I'll literally tell them like excruciating.
And in terms of like, so for a lot of people, you know, like there's a fear. And again, I'm not saying that they should be thinking about themselves in this situation, but they'll have a fear of being around and not being able to do anything to help. So are there things that, even though it's not linear, and it's different between different people, different people experience it differently and deal with it differently, is there something that people could do like to kind of like try and help or stand in a gap for someone? Or, do you get what I'm trying to say?
So I think yes there is, because I think one thing that I know that all people, so one of the main things that's always at outreach is blood donation.
Okay,
obviously a lot of people who have sickle cell get regular blood transfusions. So I'll always be like, yo, blood donation number one, it helps, or it helps in it. Like, the next thing I'll say is probably just checking in, because sometimes I think it's just easy to assume someone's okay in it. And I think for me, I just told my friends like, yo, 9 times out of 10, I'm good in it. Like for me, if I tell you I'm not good, that means I'm not good. And sometimes it's like, they know like one of my main triggers is like cold weather, stress, all these things. Obviously, stress I can control myself to a degree. Stuff like weather I can't in it. So there might be times where I ain't taking my jacket. I'm feeling cool in it, or I'm feeling the tracksuit. My boy might be like, yo, like, you sure you're good? Like, your jacket in it. Then it's in that moment I go be like, you know what? Let me grab a jacket. Or it's, I'm calm, and then try to ride it out. But I think the one thing they can always do is just this conversation. Because for me, sometimes when I'm having a crisis, I need to be distracted a little bit.
I feel you.
So I'm happy to just have conversation and not talk. But sometimes it's weird because sometimes I just need silence. Do you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I just need like let's just be quiet, or leave me be sometimes, innit? So I think the only way it works is with conversations, innit? It just kind of helps you learn. And it's, if you know someone, just make sure they're drinking water, man. I feel like one thing that's helped me a lot as well is just drinking water. Helps with blood flow. I mean, it's the source we need anyway, you know what I'm saying? So, stuff like that, making sure they're warm, and then just checking in, innit? Because I think it's just one of those things where it's like, anything's gonna happen.
What's quite sick about what you're saying, is that I feel like you've mentioned the mandem quite often. Like just the mandem kind of checking in or that. I think that it's just sick, innit? Because it sounds like the mandem are proper supporting you.
Definitely.
And that's not something we hear
a lot,
a lot. It's not to say it don't happen, but let's say we just don't hear it, innit? But it sounds good. Though.
Yeah, definitely. Mandem's universal in this context. Like I'm talking like Therefore the mandem, but also like the girl friends as well. Because I feel like with the mandem sometimes you have to let them know in it. Which I appreciate, because then it's like it's less. Are you okay? Like sometimes they go like they could be like, "Are you sure you're right?" But like it is nice, isn't it? Because it's just like it's like, "Yo, you good?" kind of thing. Especially if they see that But I'm also someone who's very much like, I've performed in pain before.
You'll mask it.
So I know how to mask it. Like I know how to be like, there's times where like, therefore I'm just like quiet and they know something's up. But I've always been like, you know, because I trust you lot, I'll tell you. So then, like, as long as I let them know, it's like they know, all right, cool, Alvin's, let's help him get through whatever he needs to get through. We'll take it. Like,
it's a scary thing where you got to be vulnerable still. Because like, even if you, like you said, like, I feel like everyone who like has experienced it would know how to mask it to a certain degree when they're in certain settings. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like, so there's also that piece as well, innit? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
How early, like, would you say like you were able to identify like some of your triggers and stuff like that? Because I remember watching a video and the guy was talking about how like so you see how he said it's not linear and everybody has like different experiences. They were going around kind of talking about what some of their triggers are, innit? And he was talking about how like, you know, when you wear socks, and it could get like kind of tight around you.
So
he was saying that like that's like a trigger for him, innit? And then somebody else said like swimming. So thinking about like when you're young and stuff like that, obviously like as a kid swimming is a thing that obviously bare kids kind of doing it. So what was like how early did you identify your triggers?
So not as early as I thought. So the thing is, I used to swim when I was young, innit? Like my parents let me do a lot of things that a lot of other people with sickle cell, I realised, didn't get to do. Now, whether that also led to me being ill a lot, I don't know, innit? but I had a lot of fun. So I used to kick ball, used to swim, all these things in it. But I feel like I learned my triggers maybe during I would say properly college, maybe like secondary school.
Sure. Do you know what?
Yeah,
I thought you was about to say during COVID. That's what. I was say bloody hell, man.
The other day. No, like probably that year, like secondary school, because I think I was doing all right. And I was trying things. I know, like I remember.
When you say doing all right, are you like managing through the pain? Or
yeah, like, either managing or like I'm actually just doing all right. Like I wasn't in a lot of pain at times in it. Like maybe I might have been taking my medication and all these things and just like sometimes when your parents don't make you feel away, so naturally that unconscious faith allows you to know this is happening in it. But I remember, I think, it might have been year 9 or year 10. I remember there was a day like they had, so when you get to year 9, you can start using the gym, innit? I remember in my school, bro, I got it. School was a
set bankers, bro.
This is like hybrid though. But it was weird, like we each had a gym in it, and I think from when you get to like year 9, you can start using it in it, like enrichment in it. And I remember going, I thought, I had the man, and I was doing it, banging, thinking, but in that moment, I overexerted my body. Went back to school, I started feeling pain. Feeling pain in my back. I think I was feeling pain in my back and my shoulders, innit? Like, so basically, my body had obviously done too much work, and then I was just cut. So then now I'm feeling a crisis in it. So then I think that was my first situation of like, wow, gym makes me have pain, but I didn't know it was just because I'd overexerted my body. I just thought it was the gym. So I was like, all right, cool, left it. Didn't go gym for a time, then I was all right. Then I think during college, especially uni is when I realized stress in this life, don't let anything stress you. Because all that coursework, all the work, being up late nights, early nights, all those stuff, I was sick. Come out of hospital, I'm back. So that's when I think it happened in stages, innit? But even the gym one, even though I just thought it was gym that time, when I went back to the gym like later on in life, like probably around college as well, again I went with the mandem that I went to school with, and I was just banging it. Obviously they're all banging it, like they've put on weight and that. Like I ain't really like, even, and in school I was small, so like even at the height I am now, I didn't know I was gonna get here, bro. I fight God because I was like, I needed that growth spurt. I don't know what else I had. I couldn't just be the funny guy. I needed a bit more, but it's like I was just mad small. So then obviously like then the growth happened and went back to gym. But obviously they've all sized up a bit, but I've lengthed up. I'm like going taller in it. So obviously I've gone gym with them now, and obviously they're doing it. I'm thinking, I can do that. Come on, man. Done it. Immediately, like I was like, yo, man, I think I need to cut. Like, I was like, oh, you good? I was like, no, like I can feel like my pain's going, and my back's going. I can feel my pain. Then I was like, right, cool, innit? So I just left it, and I styled it out in it because I think 2 of them knew, but 1 of them didn't. No, 1 of them knew, 2 of them didn't, innit? So just made it like, I'm tired. Like, went home. Next day I was in hospital. I was like, I was in pain. Then I realized like, I had a conversation. I was like, well, what did you do? So then I was like, okay, cool. Overexerting my body was the issue, innit? And not doing the right cool down or just trying to do too much in it. And you're with mandem, innit? So it's I could do what you could do, innit? But you can't, innit? So that's when I feel like I started to learn more of my triggers and just understanding and rest. I feel like rest is so important. Now you can't trick me out of falling asleep. Like, well, I'll fall asleep if I need to. You can't, like, impossible. So that's where I've started to. I feel like just man. And now I'm just aware in it. So even when I go gym now, I just do my best to like do a little warm up, get my blood into like a system of warming up, of a flow, do what I need to do. Unpredictable. So like obviously even like end of last year, or like towards the end of last year, like the gym. See, they bang aircon sometimes, but they bang it. So I remember, like, usually it's fine, especially if I've warmed up. But I think this day I didn't really warm up properly. I've gone to like one of the benches and it's just shacked me, like it's just powered down as I've done a workout in it. I was there for like 5 minutes and just went home. But luckily I was able to go home, set my heater on, rested, took my painkillers when I was there, prayed, and then I was fine. Like I didn't need to go hospital. I didn't need to do anything more in it. So for me, it was like I had a crisis, but I was able to nip it in the bud. You know what I'm saying?
So what was it like during school? So so being in school and having a crisis in school, so like school, like college, uni, stuff like that. So people talk about sickle cell as like an invisible illness in it. So like it doesn't present in a particular way in it. So it's like when you say somebody, I'm in pain, they don't necessarily take it as kind of serious in it. So what was that kind of like like going through crisis like within school and like work and all of that sort of stuff?
So, do you know what it is? It's weird. Like, I'm grateful. I didn't have a lot of crisis in secondary school, you know?
Okay.
Like, really not. But I think also my parents were very much, I say, protective to the degree that they always made sure I took my medication and took certain things in it. So I feel like I was doing certain things that just made me remain healthy a lot. And every time I did have a crisis, it was during summer holidays.
Okay.
Which was probably when I was a bit more free. I could do what I want. I didn't really have a hold. So in school, I was all right. So I never really told, like, they weren't, and I don't know, I didn't know how to explain it, innit? So I just didn't bother. And it's one of those things where you kind of feel cool coming back into school when you've been off.
Yeah.
So like, I remember one time I walked into the classroom, like I had you know that red and blue H&M jumper we used to bang?
Yeah, what, the straps?
Yeah, the straps.
Yeah,
there was a time I came in with that and I just felt like the man, innit? You know what I'm saying? There was another time I think I had my Avrox hoodie. And I've come back here and I was just like, like, just feel cool, innit? Like, it wasn't his class and I'm just like, oh, yeah. And I'm back now, though, man. Like, what have I missed? You're feeling like the man, innit? So it's like, I don't know, but I think the place I struggled the most sometimes was mainly probably from uni, innit? Because not a lot of people knew, and I wouldn't explicitly say how much in pain I was. So I might just be like, oh yeah, I'm in pain, or cut in it, or I'll just cut, and then be like, yo, yeah, I'm not feeling well. But I struggle. Sometimes you struggle with like the nurses and doctors.
Yeah.
So I'm saying in A&E in it because trying to really explain like the pain you're in. Yeah, they get it because you have sickle cell, but they don't. Like you're still a black man who's strong in it. I feel like my journey's been a little bit different because I have actually actively done my best to try and take how can I put this? I've actually done my best to like control my crisis at home before going to hospital. So then if I'm in hospital, you don't need to do something because I feel like, so I'm saying, and I know sometimes there's a stigma like, oh, people, but bro, pain is pain, innit? I've just done my best to not go to hospital sometimes, innit? But if I'm there, then they know, innit? Like, rah, Alvin must be in pain because he actually come to hospital.
Just on the topic of like, just before we round up, on the topic of like hospital prevention, treatment. Obviously, I saw the other day, that they were saying like this new like groundbreaking like treatments come out basically. Like you like aware of it?
Yeah, very.
You're taking it. It's quite interesting. So
yeah,
you're taking it quite interesting. So
it was So I'm very aware of it. So I first heard about it last year in October. They had started it in America, innit? And they started it with one like just a young 12-year-old boy. And I thought it was cool, innit? And obviously you're reading about it and obviously you see like it's a very similar process to cancer, innit? So it's like you go through chemo. I'm saying like you gotta like your parents gotta be really protective, like, you know, you lose like body fat, weight, all that kind of stuff in it. And it's just very, very similar to chemo and stuff in it. For me, my personal take as I was it's just that I was just saying that it's weird because I feel like I've dealt with this thing for so long up until now. And I've kind of learned how to use it. I don't know what my life looks like without it. So it's like it was that thing of like Stockholm syndrome almost. It's like this is the life I've gotten used to.
Feel you.
Now I need to, and it's mad because like even having it, I've always been like, yo, I wish I never had this thing. Or like, what do you know what I'm saying? But it's like I feel like I've got to an age or to a situation where I'm just like, okay, well I've dealt with it, I know how to handle it. And I, you know what I'm saying? I know this and that.
Yeah.
So now I'm just like, wow, there's this actual thing and stuff. And it's I think it's amazing. And I think, do you know, it's like we're gonna see how it obviously there's like 50 people a year that they want to start off like rolling it out to.
Yeah.
And I think it will be life-changing. I think for a lot of the younger people, I think it's amazing. And I think like if you could get in that quickly while you're young and have the rest of your life like, or majority of your life without it, amazing stuff in it.
Well, how does it actually resolve the issue? How does it?
So basically, so what it is so it's gene therapy in it. So they essentially take the gene that is producing the sickled cells or that can affect the sickled cells and they edit it basically. Like literally, they literally do the gene therapy. So they kind of find a match. So usually, it's always been about in it. So stem cells transplant's always been about, but you have to find a direct match, which is usually a family member.
Okay.
Do you get it? So people that don't have direct family members or younger siblings, they will get this opportunity to do this. So that's where they get, they just literally edit the gene in labs and with other people, like people who are matches and stuff, and give it back to you kind of thing. And put it in your body. So then after that now, they're basically fine. So it's literally like a technological gene transplant.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So
Fair enough.
we'll see, man. I think it's amazing. I think it's progress. Like you're actually going to give the opportunity to a lot of people to live fuller lives, isn't it?
Yeah.
For longer. I feel like my faith has seen me through so much. And I think that's another thing where it came from, where it's like, sometimes I don't even feel like I've got sickle cell. You know what I'm saying? Like, to the point where it's like, I'm living, I'm doing what I need to do. And obviously, sometimes you're reminded about it, but it's like, whatever, innit? Like, my testimony's great, kind of thing. But yeah, man, it's still a bit of a, you know, we'll see how it goes and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's still.
So, yeah.
I think that's gonna help a lot of people just in terms of like knowledge-wise, bro, education and stuff like that, and just in terms of how to be around, how to show up for people, especially when they're going through it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, no, that's love, bro. Listen. It's been lit, bro. And do you know what it is as well? Yeah, I feel like we ain't even started.
Bro, it's like, do you know what I mean?
I feel like I could be
bro, listen,
more,
bro, it's mad.
We're just in 2 months of hitting, bro.
We're chatting about everything.
We're having fun.
Off air as well, bro.
You know we're here for a reason, bro.
Bro, it's mad.
But
listen, but plug your socials, bro. For those that have been like living in a cave or something like that.
Yeah,
already.
Yeah, Mr. Alvin on everything. That's Mistar. Alvin, like the Chipmunks, Alvin. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. Everything, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, PlayStation stream, wherever it is. But
all follow still.
You got anything coming up?
Anything coming up? I might have a play coming up.
Okay,
I'll let you know about that. So I'm meant to be doing like it's called Twin Bond, and it's basically about like these twins who kind of grow apart. Yeah, so it's just that much. I mean, obviously, if I get this voice gig, I'll let you know about that.
Yeah. No, that's lit.
Just those for now. So I think just those for now.
Okay, cool.
And then just hopefully more content. Trying to get into that bag on footsteps. So yeah, man, that's it's pretty much everything. So,
that's lit still. I can't lie, man. But listen, bro. Thank God for your life. Thank God for your testimony as well, bro. Facts. We definitely gotta get you back on, bro.
Yeah, bro. I listen. I'll be on it anytime, man.
Bro. Yeah, man.
I actually genuinely enjoy it. I'm saying, I feel like it's underrated. Just chatting to just mandem, but obviously mandem who also believe in God in it. It's proper underrated, and just having conversations, especially our age, innit? Not that people need to know how old we are. As young as we are. As young as we are. It's nice, innit?
Word. Word.
I love,
man.
Appreciate it, man.
Love every single time.
Yeah, definitely.
Love.